baby.
What is up, everybody? Guys, real quick, it's so weird. Every time we start, everybody's like, why haven't you started yet? And I was just looking at my StreamYard camera. Thankfully, I still made it on time, but for some reason, my StreamYard's like 2 minutes behind. So very confused by that, but hey, we still made it on time. Another awesome Tuesday stream, guys. Today we're talking about The Mandalorian Season 3, but not about the episodes, really. We're talking about the figures, right? Because I don't know about you guys, but when I was watching those last two episodes, I'm like, all right, hot toy, hot toy, hot toy, hot toy. Will we get all of them? I guess you guys will find out what our thoughts are on that as we move on through the stream. But real quick, we have a lot of people here to start off the stream, so I want to say what's up to everybody. But before we do that, of course, I'm going to say what's up to our awesome panel. As always, we have Mr. Mom Collectibles, Ryan. It's great to have you here, as always. I know you're excited to talk about that stuff, but I think you might be on the more skeptical side when it comes to the Mandalorian Season 3 announcement, so I'm very excited to hear your thoughts on everything. So it's always good to have different opinions, right? So great to have you here, as always, Ryan. Next, guys, we do have Chris, the Collecting Madness. We weren't sure he was going to make it tonight. Chris got in a little accident today. Some lady decided to throw in her car into hyperdrive and blast him in the back of his car. But thankfully, he made it. Chris is okay. So, guys, wish Chris a speedy recovery. He made it with just a mild concussion, so we're very happy to have him here. But, Chris, I just wanted to give you some props. Thanks for coming in despite the day that you had today. So
no, if Sean can come on and from the hospital, I'm pretty sure.
I know Sean set the bar really high, right? We did that hospital stream the one time. So Sean set that bar very high. So, but thank you so much for being here as always, Chris. We're going to have you grab the belt while I'm saying what's up to Sean, because there's a certain someone in the chat. And I think he expects you to grab that belt. But Sean, the Hot Toys Nightmare, Sean, it's great to have you here as always. I'm glad you're able to make it after all, because I know you're really excited to talk about the Mandalorian Season 3 figures, because you do have such a presence of Mandalorian figures in your collection like I do. So it's great to have you here as always.
Woo! Big Dog Band One in the house! Chris, you're too late.
Chris, you got it. Just go run with it, Chris. Just run with it. Just run with it.
Anyways, yeah, so
I was going to say we're a little banged up over here, but the champ is never down, even when you get rear-ended. A mild concussion. That ain't nothing for the champs out here. Hit that like button, smash the subscribe button. It's Big Dog Pound in the chat, baby. Woo!
There we go. There we go.
Yay, Chris.
There you go, Big Dog Pound. I got you 2 woos right off the bat. But guys, real quick before we get started, number one, of course you don't have to, but I did get some of our custom donation messages that all these jokers, including myself on the panel, filmed. So if you guys do donate tonight, I do have some funny little videos. We're going to keep making them. Probably we're going to keep changing it up so we have a variety, but we do have some custom donation messages. So if you guys end up donating tonight, we'll be able to show those to you, and I can't wait to see what you guys' reactions are. I think Chris and Ryan are tied for the best one so far. Mine's simple. Mine's just an inside joke. It's a video that I sent to Chris and Ryan long ago. But
you don't have. It's not the OG one. It's not the OG one.
You know, it's that copyright, dude. I had to change it. But let's say what's up to some people in the chat, because we have a lot of people here already. 20 people. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Of course, as always, Insane One coming in first. Insane One, it's great to have you here as always, bro. I don't even want to know why you're saying all crap. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Well, Insane One, it's great to have you here as always, but we gotta debut the super chats. And,
let's do it.
It's funny because I think the panel already knows which one I'm gonna play first, and how fitting. Some guy, you're always talking about our favorite UPS guy. Let's see a special message here. And thank you so much, some guy, for the $5 super chat. Let's see a special message here from our favorite UPS worker. Let's see.
Son, you make sure you get them hot dogs packed in there.
Super chat.
What's that?
Super chat.
Oh. Hey there. Heard you gave us a super chat. Well, Hot Toys Hotline and I just want to say thank you very much.
Well, there you go, some guy. That certainly is our favorite UPS worker. Chris still has to come up with like an alter ego name for that character that he does. But thank you so much for the generous donation.
Oh man, I love that so much.
I'm gonna get the belt in there next time.
It's almost
Jim
like
Bob,
it's a different person.
It could be Jim Bob the Brown Knob.
I think maybe Chris would agree to the first half. I don't know about the second half, but
He has to
let's
knock,
say Jimmy
he has to knock on people's doors. They got to turn the knob to open it in.
but yeah, thank you so much, some guy, for the generous donation. And some guy says, "Awesome, let's go." Our favorite UPS worker. Yes, he is the GOAT with the gold shield. But let's say what's up to some more people in the chat because we got a lot of people funneling in. Let's see. We got pornography in the chat. Says, "Ready for the hotline." What's up, dude? I hope you're doing well. This is actually somebody that I know personally, so it's great to have you here, dude. I don't know if you're here right now. Maybe you'll catch us on the replay, but I hope you're doing well. Let's see. Some guy saying, "You won't be disappointed if you join us live tonight with the Hot Toys Hotline, #1 channel on YouTube. Like and subscribe." Thank you so much, dude. And yes, guys, if you haven't already, like this stream and subscribe to the channel. Quick reminder, guys, the giveaway is closing for entries tonight at 11:59 p.m. EST. We will not be doing the drawing on Thursday. It will be at a specified date. I will let everyone know through the community page and on Facebook, and I'll explain why. But I will specify the date that we're going to do the live drawing. So I will let you guys know that shortly. Of course, we got 12-inch Moose Stream here. As always, 12-inch Moose Stream says, "I'll be there at 7:30 p.m. I won't be square." Well, I know you're not square because I see you in here. So thank you so much, Moose Stream, my friend, for being here. As always, I hope you're doing well. Let's see who else we got.
Oh, crap.
Of course, we got another one. Big Dog Pound.
Yes.
Of course, we already said what's up to him, gave him his grand opening. Look, guys, so we got another one. Before I say what's up to the rest of the people, I'll give you what y'all want. I think we'll do mine, guys. Mine's real basic.
No. You gotta play the video. Please play the UPS video again. You requested.
Oh, he did. He did
Yeah.
request the UPS video. I didn't even read the super chat yet.
Request. You got
Guys, I mean, I told Chris and Ryan and I were telling Chris this is going to be the fan favorite, and I'll probably just be playing this one. So yeah, if you guys want to
I
request
didn't want
him,
don't even play my video anymore. I want delete mine. It's just me, Chris's.
well, once you guys see him, you can request your favorite. So we got to drop the UPS video again. Thank you so much, Boba Fettuccine, for the $5. Very generous of you. And for that, we have a special message once again from your favorite UPS worker.
Son, you make sure you get them hot dogs packed
You got
in there.
super chat.
What's that?
Super chat.
Oh. Hey there. Heard you gave us a super chat. Well, Hot Toys Hotline and I just want to say thank you very much.
Oh, I love it.
I
Chris, you messed up, dude.
It
You
never
messed
gets
up
old.
giving me that video because
Dude,
it's
it never
going to
gets
become a
old.
fan favorite. That's what it's going to be. But once again, Boba Fettuccine, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, and I hope Cletus there gave you a warm welcome for your $5 super chat. Very much appreciate it. But let's say what's up to some more people in the chat. Once again, guys, if you want to request certain videos, feel free. Of course, you haven't seen them all yet, but we got some, and Sean's
So
been working on
wait.
some
We
as
can
well.
request any video.
That are
my
made,
God.
Sean. That are
Oh,
see,
my-
Sean. His mind's going the other way. Don't follow Sean, guys. Don't
This
listen
isn't Cameo, all right? You
I
can't.
know,
we're not-
right?
we're not-
Right. This isn't Cameo. I don't think anybody wants to pay us for videos anyway. We're not that special.
I don't know. Sean comes up with some good ones, though. I will say that.
That is true. Looks like we got Funky Cold Santa in the chat. Good to see you, Funky Cold. I hope you're doing well. Of course, Boba Fettuccine saying, "What's up, early birds? What's up to you, bro?" Once again, thank you so much for the super chat, and I hope you're doing well. Good morning to you, Control Delete. Control Delete says, "I'm not leaving my fate up to chance." I love it. Great quote. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Scrolling down. Sorry, guys. I'm scrolling through a lot of comments. There was a lot of talking before we started. I love the conversation going before we get the stream started. I always love reading your guys' comments. We have one of our great moderators, Matt, here in the chat saying, "Good evening, everyone." Good evening to you, Matt. Always awesome to have you here. It's not a Hot Toys Hotline stream without you. Of course, we have 12-inch Moose Stream again saying hi. Let me scroll through. Carlito is in the chat saying, "Evening, everyone." Good evening to you, Carlito. I hope you're doing well. It's great to have you here, as always. Let's see. We got Sluggin16 in the chat. Sluggin16 says, "What's up, Hot Toys Hotline crew and fellow collectors?" What's up to you, Sluggin? I hope you're doing well. It's great to see you, as always. Let me see. Sorry, guys. I'm just scrolling through. We have Eric in the chat. Eric Heinke says, "Mandalorian Season 3 Hot Toys. See a good amount. Money, our wallets." Yes. I was really skeptical about what we were going to see from the third season before those last two episodes, but those two episodes really popped off and gave me some hope. So I can't wait to talk about our selections for some predictions. But I hope you're doing well, and it's great to have you here as always. Let's see what else. We got Kaiju Daddy, my boy. He says, "Good morning, all. Can't watch today, but I will catch the video later." Thank you so much, guys. And as always, if you haven't already, check out Kaiju Daddy. He does some great videos, especially his walk-arounds of different toy stores around Japan. It's always awesome to watch those videos. I love videos like that. So go check him out. Drop a subscription if you like his videos. Let's see. We got Leighton Richards in the chat. Leighton says, Chris is fired up. Now I am too. Let's go, gang. What's up? What's up, Leighton? I hope you're doing well. It's great to have you here as always. And yes, we always got to get Chris hyped. Chris always has to hype us up before the stream. So had to bust out the belt too. You know, when Big Dog Pound's here, we got to bust out the belt. Duck Collector dropping the popcorn in the chat as always. I hope you're doing well, bro. Great to see you. Awesome to have you here. Rackman Chris is here. He says, I like Mr. Mom's collection. I do too. I think Ryan has a great collection. It's awesome to have you here as always. Let's see what we have a Hey Cute. I mean, you shouldn't have. Hey Cuties Facebook user says. Well, hey Facebook user, if you want to show your name, there is a listing in the description of the video on how to show your username if you would like to do so. Of course, you don't have to, but I always like to remind everybody. My boy Smoke 'em If You Got 'Em's here, bro. It's great to see you. Smoke 'em If You Got 'Em says, what's poppin'? What's poppin', dude? I hope you're doing well. Great to have you here as always. Great to see you. And I hope you're excited to talk about some Mandalorian stuff like we are. Yes, Funky Cole, the super chats are rolling in. I love it, dude. Like I said, if you guys want me to play just Chris all night, I got you. Big Brita in the chat as always. It's great to have you here, bro. Hopefully this time, Brita, I don't keep one of your comments up on the stream too long so you don't roast me. Just remind me if I do. But it's great to have you here. We got to get you on stream soon, Brita. I got to coordinate with you. I know with the time zone, it's difficult. But as always, guys, you don't need me to tell you, but check out Brita's channel. He does excellent reviews, excellent day one reviews, especially on third-party stuff. Let's see.
Sean's favorite name is in there.
Wow, Mike, a very clever name. This is like a classic.
Hell.
I think Sean likes this one. Sean's like, hell yeah. But Mike, it's great to have you here. Thank you for saying hell of a panel. We very much appreciate that. And I hope you're doing well. Oh, yeah. And Mike says his clone pilot arrived today. Congratulations on that. That's a fantastic figure. Really one of those figures that really catches you off guard. It is a clone, and you know, some clones are a bit basic, but that clone's fantastic. It's a really great figure. So I'm excited to hear everybody's thoughts as they continue to get them in. Steve Showcase is here. Steve, it's so great to see you, dude. We haven't talked in a while, so it's great to have you here. And Steve's another one. I would love to have him on. And there's a bit of a time zone difference with us as well, but Steve's a great guy. Go check out his stuff. Steve's one of the nicest guys I've ever spoken to in this hobby. So great to see you, Steve.
He just built a really nice display case. I just saw him teasing it. I think he's got a video coming out. So really,
I haven't checked that out yet. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I think he did a little tease of it, but does really great craftsmanship. Absolutely.
Yeah, Steve's a cool guy. Go check out Steve. Clink is in the chat. Clink, based on your profile picture, you'll be really excited about one of the predictions we'll have to talk about. But what's up to you? I hope you're doing well. Great to have you here on this fine Tuesday evening. We have Payton in the chat. Payton, it's always great to have you here, bro. Hope you're doing well. It's good to see you, and I'm excited to talk about the Mandalorian stuff and hear your thoughts. But, guys, I hope I didn't miss anybody. If I did, I'm so sorry. I hope you guys are all doing well. It's great to have you here, as always. Great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. We already got 38 in, and we haven't even started our topic, so I'm very grateful to have you all here. But let's get started. Let's get right into our number one. Of course, these are in no order. This is just kind of an open discussion with the panel and with the chat on predictions for figures from The Mandalorian Season 3. So you guys know, had to start it off strong, right? So of course, actually, we're going to go this route tonight. Of course, we're going to talk about, actually, we're going to do this. We're going to do this because I got to pull up the name. We're going to talk about Moff Gideon, guys.
Put us somewhere.
Yeah, I got to put us somewhere, right? Chris, I got to make up my mind. But guys, this is for me, and again, these are in no particular order, but for me, this is very high up on the list. I think most of us, if you're a fan of The Mandalorian, have the first Moff Gideon figure in our collection. But when I saw the Robo Gideon, or the Mecha Gideon, as we jokingly call him, I'm like, dude, like the first moment I saw him, I'm like, hot toy, I need it. I need that hot toy. Like, and if I'm being honest with you guys, in terms of the likelihood of this, I would put this very high. I would say if Hot Toys went conservative and they didn't do as many as they did for previous seasons, which I think is likely, I think this is going to be high on their list. And this is a very interesting character because a lot of people are speculating, like, and it seems likely so, that this isn't our Moff Gideon. This might be one of those clones that we saw. So that makes it even more interesting, right? Because it's like having another Moff Gideon in your collection, but a different version altogether of the Moff Gideon that we already have, because obviously this one doesn't have the mustache. So this is very cool to me. I thought he was totally badass. For me, in terms of accessories, I want to see him with that stun baton as well, because obviously he picks that up at one point. Now, a question that I have that kind of one of the panel members can answer, and people in the chat share your thoughts. What are your thoughts on who's going to get the destroyed Darksaber? Is it going to come with Moff Gideon, or is it going to come with maybe another Bo-Katan? That's a question that I've been pondering to myself. I could see them including it with Gideon just because he can come with a hand that's crushing it. How
Bo-Katan.
badass would that be?
I think Bo-Katan will get it.
Bo-Katan.
Yeah, maybe Moff will get the hand, and then obviously Moff would have the hand because he's the one that crushes it. But maybe they'll give Moff the crushing hand, and then Bo will come with the Darksaber. That way they can kind of convince you to spend extra money. But while I'm getting a poll together, because Ryan gave me a very good suggestion for a poll, I want to open the discussion on this Moff Gideon. So whoever wants to start, what are your thoughts on the possibility? Again, for this one, I'm going to say very high for this one. This is a very likely announcement from Hot Toys, in my opinion. But anyone who wants to jump in while I get the poll set up, feel free.
I mean, I real quick, I'll just, because I have thoughts. I think if you had to choose, like, on the bare minimum of, like, let's say they did like 5 figures or less, he's got to be up there in terms of, even though his appearance in the show was very, not that many episodes, it's it's enough to garner a whole new figure. I mean, it's a whole new outfit. It looks awesome. I love the suit. It totally reminds me, like everyone else was saying, an Arena Fett, just different, tricked out, but different sculpt, no mustache. I mean, I definitely think that this is on that short list. Like, I think I'm being very conservative. I don't think we're gonna get as many figures from the show, just because there was more variety in the last 2 episodes than there was like the entire season. And so a lot of the upgrades on characters were very minimal, like the armor with the jetpack. I mean, other than that, it's the same figure, but this is a whole new design of a character. And obviously, like I said, he was the villain, and we don't know actually how the show ended, whether or not, like, the theories out there of being a clone, so the character could come back. But for me, I'm all in on this, where I think this is definitely one. Like, if I had to pick a short list of like 3 figures, I think this was one of my 3, if I'm not mistaken.
It was, yeah.
100%. I think that this would be made. It would be an absolute miss if they didn't do it.
I agree. I totally agree. And we got some thoughts in the chat. Real quick, I want to say what's up to David. David, I hope you're doing well. David and I are always talking on Instagram, and he's always sharing some really cool stuff with me. So it's great to see you here. Matt says, long live the Empire. Yes, that's very fitting for Moff Gideon, isn't it? But real quick, guys, I just want to let you know I did put up a poll if you haven't seen it already. So let's get that going. The question is, how many announcements do we see from Mando Season 3? 3 to 5, 5 to 8, or 9+? Very interested to hear your thoughts. And once again, thank you, Ryan, for that thought on the poll. That's very interesting, because this is one, again, that people are very skeptical about.
And the other thing is, just to talk about what Brita said, as long as they don't screw us a lot of 2.0s, I think if he wore the same suit, I think the likelihood of us getting him might be minimal. But because it's a completely retooled figure, suit, even sculpt, it's like, it's almost a slam dunk for them to redo it, and it doesn't take away from the original. Like I said, because he changed the whole suit up. So for me, even if you have the original, the 1.0, if you want to call it that, I don't think it devalues it, because that just represents a different point in time for the character, where, he was at that stage and now he's at this. So, yeah, I'm all for it. And I don't think it devalues the original one at all.
Yeah, and it kind of like totally changes his look. Like you said, it's all new set of armor, different head sculpt, because again, this is leaning towards being a clone. Of course, that's at this point speculation, but it would make a lot of sense. But yeah, and I agree with Brita. We don't want to see them do that for all of the figures, but you guys know how it is with Mandalorian. They do often. I mean, even with Paz Vizsla, that was barely a change, and we got another one. So we'll see what they end up doing. But Sean, Chris, any thoughts on this Moff Gideon being a possibility as a release? Or excuse me, an announcement?
Yeah, I think it's going to happen.
Yeah. What would you like to see him come with, Sean?
Well, the whole armor, everything else, along with that staff that he had, the pistol, some type of attachment that shows the wrist rocket being fired.
Ooh, that's clever.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That's really all we can ask for.
Yeah. That's true. There's not really that much extra that he has to come with, apart from himself and a few things that we may have seen in the scenes that he was in, which wasn't much, I mean, I had mentioned like the stun baton or the stun staff that belongs to the Praetorians, and even if he didn't include that, I wouldn't be upset. You know, it's not a necessity for me. Maybe like a flamethrower attachment too, just because obviously he uses that on Mando at one point, but that's something they've already done. You know, they could just include what they've already done. But
Sean, if they did a sculpt version real fast, would you get 2 of these?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
But I don't see them doing the head sculpt.
You don't think they'll do a head sculpt? You think it'll just be a helmet?
No,
version?
I think they'll just do the helmet and just
I think they'll
buy
do the head
time
sculpt
to make it small. If we
Interesting.
see him again, because I do think this is a clone. I don't think this was Moff Gideon. I think at the beginning where we saw Moff Gideon with the shadow group and everything, I think that was the real Moff Gideon. But I think at the end here, I think this was a clone.
Yeah, and it would make sense, you know. I mean, with them having so many clones in those tanks, like part of me thinks like there's no way that was it, you know. That might have been his special batch, but
yeah,
there's
but
no way that was all, you know.
So if you think about it, okay, one end where those clones are, right? There's 8 Beskar, Imperial Beskar troopers.
Right.
Okay. You go through there where the clone is, and then the other side, it's an empty room where the Shadow Council would meet. And then the next room to that is the freaking hangar. You know, so, okay, yeah, we're only going to provide security to Moff Gideon's clones on half of the exits to get to the room. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So I think it's
right. There's more to it for sure, I think.
But I think that's I think they can do something else.
Yeah.
But I think it's a clone. It's completely a clone, and Moff Gideon's still alive. However, I do think when Moff Gideon was in front of Mando when they captured him, I think that was actually Moff Gideon. And then he left and his clone
sent his clone in the armor. Yeah, that's possible. It's very possible. I'm very interested to see what happens with him. But real quick, guys, I want to touch on some comments. We got some thoughts from some people in the chat. Mike says, unfortunately, I didn't like the season at all, but I guess that'll save me a little money. Well, there you go. That's always good, right? If you're one of those people that buys based on your reaction to the content, which is most collectors, doesn't make sense for you to buy anything. Matt says 4 figures, Moff Mando, Praetorian Guard, Imperial Commando, red variation. Maybe we'll talk about some of those later. Just have to wait and see. Tremble Dust is here. Tremble Dust, I hope you're doing well. It's great to have you here as always. Steve Showcase says, my wallet hopes 3 to 5, but my heart hopes 9+. We'll have to wait and see, dude. It's like, this is definitely a very interesting segue right now with where Hot Toys is, especially with the Return of the Jedi stuff, you know, and Andor and all the other things that they haven't announced yet, and the 20th anniversary of the Tartakovsky Clone Wars. So there's a lot up in the air right now. So it's very hard to say. John Wick. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff up in the air right now. Let's see.
Plus new Guardians and...
Yeah, that's true. The Guardian stuff is right around the corner. Brita says Moff comes without the head sculpt. That's how you keep the value for the 1.0. Me personally, I don't think it's going to devalue it, though, because it's going to be a different sculpt without the mustache and everything. So it's like, I don't necessarily think it devalues it. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. I wouldn't be angry if it didn't come with the sculpt, because I already have the version 1 with the sculpt. So if they just gave us the fully armored version, I'm all for it. But
to be honest, this is one of those figures. This is actually one of those figures. Not to cut you. I'm sorry. That's actually more.
No, it's okay.
I like it better with the helmet on, because the helmet just looks so cool. And it's not one of those I'd want to pose him like holding the helmet. I would actually want him on with the helmet. So, you know, I would be the same boat. If it came with a sculpt or not, I probably wouldn't use the sculpt.
Yeah, I wouldn't put the sculpt on just because I have my version 1 Moff, and he looks great how he is, you know. So I don't need to have 2 sculpted versions. 8-Bit says, I still don't know how Grogu found Mando and teleported to him. Also, why would Bo-Katan just let Grogu go by himself? Well, number one, that's the answer we have for that is the Force, right? That's all we got to say. It's magic, space wizards, you know. That's all we got to say for that. But no, yeah, very interesting. But you know, hey, Grogu held his own in the end. You know, he really did. He kind of came into his character a little bit more. But Chris, what are your thoughts on this Moff Gideon, and what are your thoughts in terms of the possibility of seeing this as an announcement?
Yeah, so when I sent it to you, I kind of sent it like possibilities, but when I meant possibility, I mean like when I set my list, I was doing stuff that would be, I guess, different from what I actually think they're gonna do. Obviously, there's other characters which will probably get pulled up here, and we'll talk about those. But
Mhm.
Moff Gideon was definitely one. However, like Bretta had mentioned, even though it's not a 2.0, it is like they already did it. They just be revisiting, so I could see them doing this. I'd personally like to see it just because I think the suit is way better this season than what he had. The helmet's pretty badass, so
Yeah.
I agree with everything you guys are saying as far as like what they would do with it and stuff. And we know that this is Howard's baby and stuff, so
Yeah.
he's definitely into the whole Mando line. He's given a whole bunch
And we
for
know
it.
Howard
So
loves armor, right? He
yeah,
certainly loves armor, so yeah,
yeah.
I hope to see it, dude. So it seems like most of us think this one's pretty likely in one form or fashion, whether it has the head sculpt, whether it doesn't. I think most of us agree this is probably on their list of stuff that's going to happen. Um, I want to say what's up real quick to Beskar, kid. Beskar, I hope you're doing well, bro. It's great to see you as always. Beskar says we got 14 to 15 releases per season so far, not including vehicles or beasts. I'm hoping for about the same for season 3. Yeah, and you know, it's tough. It's tough to determine that again because there is just so much going on right now. I'm wondering if because of all the stuff that Hot Toys has on their plate, maybe they'll dumb down the amount of releases they do. I guess that remains to be seen, you know. But definitely really good thoughts.
I saw his R2 vid earlier today.
Yeah, he made me
Can't
jealous.
wait to get
dude.
mine.
He
I
made
know,
me jealous.
right?
But yeah, guys, if you want to see a quick unboxing, Beskar does great quick unboxings. Check out his quick unboxing on the R2-D2 from Attack of the Clones. But guys, we're going to move on to our next one. I've already seen, and guys, I'm not ignoring your comments. If you guys are throwing suggestions in the comments, I'm going to try to avoid most of those because we're going to get to them eventually. So far, I think most of the ones I've seen are on our list. So don't you worry, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying to avoid bringing it up. But guys, I'm calling these Gideon Super Commandos. These are the Beskar Mandos that everybody's talking about. Gideon's little personal Beskar squad army, if you will. This one is another one, guys, I think is very, very likely. This is right up Hot Toys alley. This is a trooper builder's dream, army builder's dream. It's an incredible design. They look fantastic. I think this is a no-brainer. It's also very simple for them to do. This is not a very complicated design. So if I were putting my money in a hat and saying I'm going to put my money in that these are going to happen, this is definitely on that list. I think it's very likely, and I think Hot Toys knew that the moment they saw the stills and stuff from this season. They're like, okay, this is one we got to take a look at. So I would love to see it. Seeing all like the different Imperial commandos and stuff from Rebels and such makes you really want to dive into figures like this. So I think this is really cool. I was very excited to see them in the show when you saw them all lined up with those red phaser doors. I think this is really cool, and I really, really hope we get these because if we don't, I'll be disappointed. I'll be honest with you because for many reasons, right? These guys show up in the show, interacting with many of our favorite characters. So it's like they could fit in so many different displays: fighting Mando, fighting Bo, fighting Paz Vizsla, like standing with Moff Gideon. Like there's a lot of different options for these. But guys, what are your thoughts on the possibility of seeing these Gideon Super Commandos showing up?
Dude, these were first on my list that I sent you. As soon as I saw it in the season, I was like, they have to do these.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, like I don't have a Moff Gideon or anything like that. I only have Din Djarin. And to be honest with you, I don't even collect many troopers, but I would get these guys as kind of my villain-esque to go with him. And there's just so many things they could do with this, like the light up on their chest and stuff. Like, you know how they do Darth Vader? They could very well get that stuff to light up. Like, I think this would be a very, very cool trooper to see come to fruition.
Yeah, USB power would be really cool, Chris.
Yeah, and they could even do, it could stick to the back of the base, but the red, like a smaller version of those red panels.
Dude, that's a great idea. Or even like I know we don't like the cardboard stuff, but if they use that thicker cardstock like that comes with the Luke, I would be okay with that. And if it had
where it's like different layers and stuff too.
That would be really clever. I'd be all for that. And because that's obviously like the first time we're introduced to them is you see them all kind of standing there guarding, and we're like, what are they guarding? And then we obviously find out. But Yeah, that's a great idea. I didn't even think of that. That's really clever. I would love to see that. I love this comment from Tremble Dust. He says, "A Sir Din Grogu with a sword." Man, you guys are you guys are getting creative. Matt says he loves these, and Tremble also points out they can't shoot for shit. Well, yeah, that's just anybody, any Imperials, you know, unless you're Crosshair. Unless you're Crosshair, because he was technically an Imperial, you know. Unless you're Crosshair, then you could shoot. But and same one says sold, sold, sold. But guys, anyone else on the panel? Let's hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts on these commandos coming to fruition from Hot Toys?
So go ahead, Ryan.
You can go. I'm gonna be
all right, so I think this is going to happen. I don't think it'll be lit up though, like what Chris mentioned. However, it's still a possibility. I think it'd be really simple for them to make. Regarding it though, I want to also make sure that they give like the whole everything possible, to include the ones with the red lower leg armor and the gauntlets.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's important, along with the baton, the shield, and then also there's like variety of weapons. So we saw them with 2 different types of pistols. There were 2 different types of rifles used.
Yep.
I think it would be better if they did a standard version, and then they did either a deluxe version or they did just the red version separate.
Yeah, like 2 different, kind of like the Shore Troopers, right? They could give us 2 different versions. That would be really cool.
Or just give us like a whole 2-pack of just the 2, and that's the only way you get it, with the one with the red, one with the white, and then all this stuff is there, and then you decide which one gets what.
Yeah, I like that idea. Variety is always key in my opinion, and I think having different variations of them next to each other would just make the display that much better. So I agree. And someone actually mentioned that in chat that I read earlier, that they would like to see the red version as well. So yeah, hopefully, I mean, it's an easy repaint for them, to do that. So hopefully they do give us both versions if they do end up giving us these guys. Let's see. Joe is saying maybe this. I'm curious to see what Ryan said. He's going to be a little controversial, I guess. Joe says hopefully they ease up on Mando figs and focus more on anniversary stuff, OT and prequels. And I agree. I mean, if I had to pick OT prequels versus Mando, of course I'm going to go the OT prequel side. But I do think we're going to get plenty from Return of the Jedi for sure. But Ryan, what are your thoughts on these commandos?
I liked them initially, but as I had time to digest Mando, and I know we even talked about it on my stream on Sunday, kind of reviewed it, me, you, and Sean. I'm totally indifferent to them now. I don't doubt that they're not going to get made because it's obviously army building. It's easy money. But for me, I probably wouldn't get them just because I'm kind of turned off by the fact that, as of right now, and forgive me for being kind of the way my thought process is on it, but like if they're Gideon's troops, I'd like to see them in other aspects of Star Wars. Like if I'm going to buy the figure and have a little bit of investment in it. So if these are just going to appear for these 2 episodes and that was it, and they're really just Gideon's troops, and so that's kind of it, and we don't see them anymore, I look at it as a total waste. That's me personally. Also, the other thing about it is that if these were to be released, it's very possible that this is going to clash with Return of the Jedi. And I've already said, I know it's some people, but if they made 2.0s or even reissues of Return of the Jedi Stormtroopers, I'll forget about these things all day and just get Return of the Jedi Stormtroopers, because they have more of a priority over than these would. Because I honestly don't know. It's very weird because I'm normally that person that will always say I can separate the figure from the character source, like Venom, movie stunk or whatever it is, but I love the figure. Right. I have it. You know what I mean? Like I can always do that. I just use it as an example. For these things, I don't know. I was really hyped up on them, but then I'm kind of like, when I started thinking about like, are these going to appear in Ahsoka? Probably not. So like, when will we ever see these things again? And I know they had like a badass scene for like, scenes for 2 episodes, but I'm just, I don't know. I'm indifferent. And like I said, if this clashes with original trilogy, Return of the Jedi Stormtroopers, which is probably, they're obviously a little more upgraded from that, but I put them in the same boat. I'm going to go OT Stormtroopers all day over this. I
Yeah,
already said
for sure.
I already said on another stream, I think it was Nate's or something like that. If they did Return of the Jedi Stormtroopers, I'm easily getting 2 or 3 of them. Which then this is like cool, but not for me.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how they space out. Again, my theory is they're going to announce all of the Return of the Jedi stuff, and then the stuff that everybody's been asked about, Mando Season 3, Andor, that stuff will probably follow that. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah,
to
if that's the
see
case,
how
then
they
I'll be
follow it up.
invested. Then, like you and I spoke earlier today, like I'm very much. I have myself positioned where it's Return of the Jedi. You know what I mean? And I have a couple
Same.
thoughts and some other figures, like we'll talk about, like some of my picks. But like this is definitely one that'll be on the back burner. That like if I saw these, I'm like, cool. They'll probably sit, maybe get one, but you'd have to get a couple, and I'm not invested in that anymore, especially because it's the way that I think it's going to line up with Return of the Jedi. So
Yeah.
I got a question. Does this worry you guys? So because we know that season 3 ended, and we know that it's Howard's, love or whatever, and he's obsessed with making the Mandalorian figures for some reason. Do you think they would purposely shorten the Return of the Jedi line like they kind of did Empire, maybe stick to 2.0s and then
I
go
don't.
with this?
I hope not.
I
not.
hope not either, but
I'd sacrifice Mando for Return of the Jedi. Like if you had to tell me right off the bat, dude, if you had to tell me flat out, listen, you are going to get this from Return of the Jedi, and you got to sacrifice Mando season 3. I'd sacrifice Mando season 3, all of it. Like,
oh hell yeah, but
I'll be all of it all day
No,
just for
yeah,
Return of the
Chris,
Jedi.
to answer your question, I don't think that. I think Hot Toys is very aware of the importance not only to fans as collectors, but to the money that they'll be making off of collectors. So I don't think that they're gonna. And there's been some speculation, right? Like people are like, I don't think we're gonna get as many Return of the Jedi announcements as everybody thinks, and maybe that'll be the case. But I don't know. Just the way that other companies are marketing Return of the Jedi, Funko, Hasbro, like they're just giving us everything. And obviously those are completely different companies, but I do think Hot Toys is going to give us a fair amount of stuff, and I'm really excited to see what they come out with. Obviously, guys, if you haven't already, check out the stream that we did last Tuesday on Return of the Jedi possible announcements and predictions. And you'll hear our thoughts about that. But yeah, I'm not too worried about it personally, Chris. We have a lot of mixed opinions on this character, or excuse me, on these characters. Very interesting. But Beskar Kid says, excuse me, these guys did more in 2 episodes than Stormtroopers did in the entire original trilogy. LMAO, I'm all in. Yeah, dude, I love my Imperial Troopers. That's where my heart lies. I love the clones too, don't get me wrong. But yeah, our favorite Stormtroopers, they can't really shoot for nothing, can they? And it was so great to see them kind of playing on that in The Mandalorian with that Scout Trooper scene. That's why I had to get the bike, dude. That scene is just so funny to me. So I had to get that Mandalorian Scout bike. I love that scene, and they kind of played on that with them kind of practicing shooting those little pistols. It was just so funny, man.
Did they have they actually officially announced what they're called yet?
I've looked them up before, but in different websites they call them Super Commandos. Other websites just call them Beskar, Gideon's Beskar Mandalorians. I couldn't find the Wikipedia listing on them, but when you Google Beskar Troopers Mandalorian Season 3, it comes up Imperial Super Commando. I don't think if I were guessing, I don't think that's what these are exactly called, just because these look different than the Imperial Super Commandos slightly. But you never know with Disney what they're going to call them, and if somebody has an official source for that to confirm that, I don't know. But I just took what I saw and ran with it. That's what I just said. I'm going to call them Gideon Super Commandos.
You don't think it'll light up though, Sean?
I don't know if they will.
But
I've also seen them. Yeah, the color is good. I also seen where they're being called the new Dark Trooper.
Yeah, it could be that. Yeah, they could be like the evolution of the Dark Trooper. That's possible.
Well, that's what I thought he said in the show. His Beskar
he did
Dark Troopers or whatever.
Right, but I saw some theories about that. People saying like that's just his way of saying like this isn't what I had before that you guys completely tore down and embarrassed me with. This is like my new Dark Trooper, quote unquote. So I like. In hearing that, I'm like, I don't know if I 100% would say these are called Dark Troopers. And I haven't seen many people online calling them that. So I'm very curious to see what the official name for them is. Whatever they are, they look cool.
Is it also weird because he did say at one point Beskar alloy, not like a fully Beskar or whatever, because Mando's armor, when it was used against the Darksaber, held up. And so I thought these guys were going to hold up until you see, like, I don't want to say the spoiler, but like these guys didn't make it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Chris, you can, 'cause we've already said a lot of spoilers, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say that when Bo, literally just stabbed one of them. Like, I mean, they got diced up pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of back to the conversation about stormtroopers. Even though these are kind of a more elite squad of troopers, they're not up to par with the Mandalorians that we know. Let's see. 8-Bit says, watch us get an Iron Man release on May 4th. They better not. They'd be tripping hardcore with that. Yeah, JB saying
with
second
Star Wars
Dark
paint,
Trooper.
like R2 paint colors.
I know, that'd be crazy. I mean, that'd be kind of cool, but no, please no. Hot Toys don't get any
They
ideas.
give us
Don't get
they give us the Iron Man concept stormtrooper.
Yeah. Iron Man
limited to
C-3PO,
300 on Sideshow.
all gold.
Yeah.
All gold Iron Man.
All right.
Imaginary raffle coming to you soon.
On that note, we are moving on to our next character, and that is going to be, guys, we got to talk about our Bo-Katan. And real quick, guys, the same one's hyping up the chat, and same one says,
Brian.
I will feel a great disturbance in the force as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror. If you don't leave a like and subscribe to this entire panel in the Hot Toys hotline. Thank you so much. And same, but guys, if you haven't already, once again, like the stream and subscribe. If you're enjoying the stream tonight, I would very much appreciate it. Hey, maybe I will if they do it, but hey, it depends on the price, right? Because I wanted that Black Panther, and then when I saw the price, I'm like, oh, no, thank you. So if they hit me with that, $445, I might be passing on that. Chewy War Machine, guys, if Hot Toys on the off chance is watching this, please don't read these comments, please don't read these comments. But guys, Bo-Katan, I hate to be the bearer of bad news for those who have mentioned they don't want to see 2.0s, but to me, this is happening. I mean, a lot of the complaints, and I'm going to keep this very brief because I don't want to get into too much of it, but a lot of the complaints about this season was some people thought that this season was too much about Bo. And I think that's for good reason. And I think Hot Toys and other merchandisers are going to acknowledge that. And also, I think her look, obviously, her hair has changed drastically between this season and the last. It's definitely
for the better.
For the better. It looks much better, looks much more accurate to how we've seen her in the cartoons. Also, obviously, she lost her piece of armor and she got a replacement piece of Beskar armor with the Mythosaur on it. So to me, that right there is just enough. But then you throw in the fact that she got the Darksaber back. I think that's more than enough for Hot Toys to say, all right, we're working on another one. So
plus she used the blue shield like
that's true. It's a blue shield as well. So there's been a lot of stuff pointing to the fact that Hot Toys has probably got their mouth watering at a possibility of kind of reusing most of their molds. Yeah, I mean, I know we've hoped for many thrones, especially from the Vader from Kenobi, but you never know. Maybe they'll give us the Mandalorian throne. But at the very least, I think this one is for certain happening. It's too easy for them. Change a couple things and call it a day. Throw in the Darksaber in. And like we mentioned earlier with Moff Gideon, maybe he'll come with the hand crushing the Darksaber, and then she'll come with the crushed Darksaber hilt as well as the regular hilt that's not damaged, because obviously we saw her flying through the air and stuff swinging that Darksaber. So also, I certainly think they're going to do another one.
Yeah, also, I would definitely like to see her come with rooted hair or something. Like, I know it's not a fan favorite, but after seeing that custom one and then compared to the sculpted and her face, like, I would just rather have her come like that than with sculpted. In my personal opinion, like, that would be the selling point. That would make me get her even more.
I mean, if they could pull off sculpted kind of in the way they did the Wonder Woman 84, I wouldn't.
Yeah, it just looks so flat, like on the top of her head, the way it swings and stuff.
Of course, yeah, because it's just straight hair now versus it being like wavy. Which, it's 100%. agree with you, and on that, I would love to see that.
Yeah, I mean, we already know Hot Toys is probably going to do sculpted hair, but I do think for this type of hair, it won't be too complicated for them, and I do think also like the color of her hair will be a bit better with this new version. And 8-Bit Flea saying he wants the long hair Bo-Katan. I know Insane One has mixed opinions about this season. He says pass on Bo, got enough of her in Mando.
I mean, the fact is that, despite what your feelings are about the show, I mean, it's over and done with. She is the focal point of the show. So once you separate that, the fact that they're going to make another one is a reality. You know what I mean? You can only
Yeah.
base it on the source material, but we're not here to argue whether or not it should have been too much Bo or not enough Bo. The reality is that she was a staple. I would say honestly, in terms of the Mando side, I feel like it was her, Mando, and the Armorer were the big three. Like they were the big three. They were the bless you. They were the components too. Then Heavy Mando is number 4. You know what I mean? But I always felt like it was those three as like the trio.
Right, and she's an important piece to the puzzle for sure.
Yeah, so I just don't see them not doing it. Like you said, with all those components, that's more than enough. Hot Toys, I mean, Heavy Mando is a very good example where they gave him very next to little, and they still did a 2.0 of him. Granted,
right, he had the damage on his gauntlet, he had the shield, and that's
I mean, granted, that was listed under the Book of Boba Fett, and then they still snuck in from Mando just to make sure it had the the dual heading to it.
Right.
But she came with more than enough to justify a 2.0 in my opinion. I think
so too. And again, I totally understand. I love the first version of Bo, so like
I still got the first version, and
yeah, it's great. And if they were to say, you know what, you're not getting another one, I wouldn't be upset. But I do think this one's going to happen. And 12-inch Moose Stream is saying, I don't think a Bo throne is important because it's rubble now. I mean, yeah, they probably won't do a throne, but if they did, I think it would be really cool. Rusty Bronco says, with this Disney crew, I wouldn't be surprised to see Bo replace Mando's lead. I don't think so. I kind of agree with this thought here from 8-Bit Flea. Real quick, Chris, and then we'll hear your thoughts. But 8-Bit says, this season was a Bo-Katan story arc. I think they'll get back to Din in the next season of the movie. And that's my thought. That's kind of what I gathered from that ending, where he's kind of getting back to his bounty hunting roots with Grogu. I think we'll see more so Mando be the focal point. Now that Bo has received her much-needed arc in the show. But go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to have a quick thought. She could come with Grogu as well, like everybody else does. But she spent a lot of time with him this season, and it kind of foreshadowed, him possibly being captured with the whole, like he wasn't, when they were on the ship traveling to Mandalore, he was with her. And I don't know, they just got a little bit of a closer bond, so I feel like they could throw him in with her as well.
Oh, for sure. I totally agree. We got legendary Lane Kramer in the chat. He says, hey, look at this quadro of pretty faces, and good evening to the chat. What's up, Lane? I hope you're doing well, dude. Great to see you.
Well, now we know who the Facebook user was that said that we're cuties.
Well, that was very kind of you, Lane. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah. Thank you, Lane. I hope you're doing well. Always a friend of the channel. Thank you.
Lane's just giving us brownie points tonight, huh? And yes, guys, as always, join the Hot Toys Hotline Facebook group. We'll be doing another giveaway for $25 in there very soon once this giveaway ends up. And before we hear Sean's, any additional thoughts from Sean, Matt says she'll be back again, do a 2.0, then, not now. Sean, what are your thoughts on the possibility of another Bo-Katan from Season 3?
I think it's a yay and a nay type thing. Well, for example, why nay? Basically, there's other seasons coming. We already know that. Katie's doing Star Wars. She's not going to give that up, along with, other possibilities as well. However, if we do see her, I don't see her coming alone. I see, I don't know, something coming with her. I don't know what. But I also know there's also look at possibility of 2-packs and everything else. 2-packs have been winding down with Hot Toys.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
And it is unfortunate. However, I think if Hot Toys manages it correctly, where if they do 2-packs versus individual characters, I think they could sell more that way, and they would make more money, and we would have 2 figures for less than if we bought them individually. However, who knows?
Yeah.
I don't really know. It's like 50-50 because the big changes, Darksaber, Shield, and the right shoulder pauldron. But I don't really know. I mean, if you asked me a week ago, I would say yes. But now I've had time to actually think about it. I'm uncertain. But
that's fair.
I mean, more than likely, it is on my list of what I'm suspecting anyways for a 2.0.
Yeah.
I want to wait and see. If it comes out, if it doesn't get announced, then I'm not going to be surprised. If it's announced, I'm going to be happy and I'll order it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be very upset. I'm happy with the one I have. I would like this version of Bo because, again, this is like her very much a big arc for her, and this is the version of Bo that we see with that character arc. But I'm very happy with the first version. So if we didn't get another one, I wouldn't cry about it. You know, this isn't the Mecha Gideon that we're talking about earlier. This is just another version of a figure that I'm already very happy with. So I agree with that. And Mike, you're certainly not the only one. I'm very, very excited to finally get Rebels figures in my collection. So you are certainly not the only one, my friend. I'm very, very excited. But moving on, guys. Now, this one's very high on my list, and I don't know about you guys. And Beskar Kid, if you're here, bro, this one's for you. IG-12, and we're going to show a photo of IG-11 as well. Obviously, we got to see IG-11 repurposed at the very end, back to close to his original form. But IG-12 with Grogu inside. Now, for me, guys, I got to be honest with you. I thought this was a very clever direction for the character, though it was temporary. I thought it was very clever. I think it was good for the character because it's kind of showing the character a little bit of more. What is the word I'm looking for? Kind of on his own, you know, doing things on his own, not as much Mando holding his hand, you know, kind of more independence for the character, which is Grogu, now Din Grogu, as we know. But this IG-12 was so cool, and some people might have found it childish or corny. I thought it was hilarious when he's just walking around pressing the no, yes. It was funny, you know, it was giving Grogu a way to communicate because all we know from him right now is his little baby sound, so I thought this was hilarious. And not only that, I would like to see a swap out driver. Maybe they'll give us a little Babu Frick to go with it. You know, I think that would be really cool. But this was very clever. Hot Toys would really just have to repurpose some of the parts from the original IG-11. And I think I could see this one happening. Is this a for sure, in my opinion? Not really. But it's one that I really, really want. So I think it's certainly in the realm of possibility from them. But guys, what are your thoughts on IG-12?
I guess
Yeah,
I
Chris.
can.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I believe I sent this and then I mentioned Grogu as well, you know, with the whole chest plate and stuff and Babu Frick.
Mm-hmm.
They could honestly do a whole pack with like all three of them if they could fit it in there because Din Grogu now is pretty small and so is Babu Frick's species. But I'll just touch on one thing and then I'll let everybody else go because mine'll be pretty short. I would like to see it, but it'd be pretty cool. They can do it. They did it with R2, like the electronic, you know, noises and stuff. If you could have the same remote for this droid, kind of do the nose and the yeses and stuff.
Yeah. He's got to come with a swap of hand where his finger's pressing the button. He's got to.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah. I thought this was pretty funny as well, and I like seeing it.
Yeah. And
Mando's just like, this isn't working for me.
I know. He's like, this is a terrible idea. Why did I allow him to do this? Yeah, no. Sean, do you think this is a fag gadget? Says this is Grogu. I guess he's channeling his inner Ripley from Aliens. He's got his own power. That's kind of what I was thinking of myself, too. I thought that was pretty funny. But, Sean, what are your thoughts on the possibility of this IG-12?
You know, with that said about Ripley and everything, that would have been awesome if as soon as Grogu went in and he lifted the arms up and started rotating the hands. That would have been so awesome.
I know.
Anyways, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I think it'd be cool. I would buy it. But if it's going to come out or not, I think we have a higher possibility of repainted IG-11 as the Marshal than we do this. Because what they're going to do is they're going to go grab all those in-stock IG-11s right now, and they're going to go repaint them.
Take them back from Sideshow.
Put them back in the... Can
we buy some of those back from you guys?
Yeah, put them back in some new box covers and call it good.
Yeah. Can you imagine? The interesting thing, though, is looking at this one, you could see even like the midsection is different. It looks different to me, just without looking at my IG-11 having it in hand. I think the torso is a bit different in terms of the parts they use. But yeah, I mean, me personally, I'd prefer. I don't know about you guys. I prefer the 12 over the 11. I have little interest in this 11 right now because we haven't seen him kind of back in action. We just saw him kind of walk in and cool, I'm the protector of Navarro, and we don't know really much beyond that. But yeah, me personally, I connect more with the IG-12, so I'd rather have that myself. Ryan, what are your thoughts though? IG-12 versus IG-11. What do you see in terms of?
I don't connect with either one of them, which is funny, because just like what you said, just like the IG-11, I'm Grogu'd out. I have enough Grogu's personally, except for if they do the life size one. But I just found it as like another way to like repurpose to do like another Grogu, and it was what I said on Geeking Out when we were talking about the season finale. Like, I think we did something like that where we predicted like Hot Toys, and I made this comment about the IG-12. I'm like, I'm not gonna have that much interest in it. I think it was just used as a minimal vessel to like show Grogu being weak, and then he's gonna be put into a situation where he's got to kind of bust out and do his own thing, and it's exactly what he did. So therefore, the IG-12 had a total of probably 1 episode of screen time, if not maybe like 25 minutes total.
Wasn't much, yeah.
So and it's destroyed. So I have no emotional attachment to it. I just looked at it as another cash grab, and people will buy it because it's like, but I didn't. It just seemed a little silly to me. And like, practicality, I thought the Prim was more useful than this. But I get everything to know that yes, it was funny. I laughed at it. It had a tongue in cheek father and baby kind of moment. I totally get that. But once again, it comes down to putting money down to it. I couldn't invest money in it. I just couldn't.
Fair. That's fair. And it's
and honestly, like seeing this one, I would still probably then get the original IG-11. That's not,
well, yeah. I mean,
it's like going back to like it's like OG Mando versus Chrome. Like I still love the OG Mando, so it's like I'd rather just get the OG IG-11 because I feel like that had more significance in season 1.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would totally agree with that for sure. But yeah, great thoughts, Ryan, and yeah, I agree with that. I mean, in terms of significance, like get the IG-11 on a discount if you're not really sold on these. I'm probably sure sold on the first IG-11 because he was the GOAT. But it's funny, a comment from here from 8-Bit Flea. He says that was a dad moment from Din. If you have kids, you know how it feels after you give your kid a toy with a button and that makes sound.
Yeah, I know my daughter's like that same way.
Yeah, and it's like Grogu's like you're giving him a bike with training wheels, and he like people were saying in the chat, he kind of instantly regretted it, and they're like, man, why did I let him take this droid for a spin? I want to say what's up real quick to a couple people. We got Jeremy from Plastic Hero Collectibles. What's up, Jeremy? Guys, as always, check out Jeremy from Plastic Hero Collectibles. He can find anything you need in terms of not only secondary market stuff, but he does pre-orders as well. So shout out to Jeremy. Great to have you here as always, bro. I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon. But we also have Don Prime in the chat. Don, I hope you're doing well. Don says, I am IG-11. Resistance is futile. License and registration, please. I love it. Maybe they'll give Don. Maybe they'll give the IG-11 his own Ford Taurus, and maybe he'll be rolling around Navarro like RoboCop. That would be pretty cool, huh? And also, Insane One says if they did him with swappable pieces. With a Grogu carry and then Sheriff, then yeah, maybe they could do like a pack where it's swap. I mean, it'd be kind of difficult, but maybe they could do something like that, kind of swap out pieces. But that's kind of a difficult thing for them to do, I think, with all the different swap out parts. But you never know. But moving on to the next one, guys. I know immediately some people are gonna be like, "No, please, no." Come on, guys.
It's happening.
Yeah,
it's happening.
100%
happen.
I agree, Sean. Though I
didn't put it down. I don't want to see it.
Yeah,
I want to see it for a reason, and Connor knows why.
Yeah, I mean, for me, guys, I would love because right, this is the first time where we really see Mando in a completely different fashion in some regards, right? So when I see this version of Mando, I see the white commando jetpack. I see those double pistols that he was wielding. I see him coming with the shock staff, like different stuff like that really sets him apart. And then, of course, I mentioned here with an updated version of Grogu, of course, maybe they can give us a little opened up bit of his robe so you could see the Beskar plate and the mesh underneath. That would be really cool if we saw the chainmail and such. But really what I would like to see, and I was talking to Insane One about this earlier, when we get another Grogu, like, why can't they give us cloth on the 6-scale version? The sculpted plastic to me doesn't look that good. I mean, especially with the ones with the opposing arms, the new ones that came with Luke and Ahsoka. At that point, just give us cloth. I would love to see a cloth version of the 6-scale Grogu. I think it would look much better. And that's my thought on the updated version of Grogu. I would love to see cloth and be able to see that chest plate and that chainmail underneath. But yeah, see, Brita, that's the thing.
I'm down.
Right? Hot Toys doesn't really give us accessory packs that much anymore. That's the
They
problem.
should.
They don't anymore, and we as collectors may not see a reason for it, because I would agree I don't need another Mando, but in terms of making money, they're going to do it. I don't need
Man,
another Ryan. I really
take
don't.
this idea, dude. Imagine they did a Din Grogu like by himself, but he came with some of Din Djarin's stuff.
No, that would be really cool for sure. It's just, like I said, it's just too much of a moneymaker for them. And Ryan, I know we've been kind of having an open discussion, but I want to go right to you because you had an interesting thought about.
Dude, I've been
what we
saying
could
this.
see
I know
from the
Tremble just
Mandalorian.
called it out. I've been saying it for about 2 months now. I'm telling you, a die-cast Mando. I know Tremble Dust said it. I saw it right there. Beat me to it tonight. But there's record of me. I said it.
Oh, you told me
about 2
before the
months
stream,
ago.
yeah. You told me.
Oh,
Before
I
the
said it
stream
2
too.
months
You're
ago
like,
on Geeking Out, dude. Everyone was like, I was like,
Everybody's been
die-cast,
wanting it.
die-cast Mando. There's no reason why we're not. We're like leading that way. And for anyone that calls me nuts, I got a couple theories, but die-cast, just like the Mark I, there's no reason why you can't have the. You're talking what, the helmet, the 2 shoulder cauldrons, the front, the back. You're talking like 6 plates, 7 plates.
Yeah,
It's
but
no
even
different than the
Iron
Mark.
Man isn't fully 100%.
What I'm saying is but like the Mark I, they call out that they have specific areas on there that are actual die casts and the rest isn't. There's no reason why they couldn't do it on this. Yes, it would
Hey,
command
all I can
probably.
say is,
What's that?
sorry to cut you off. You thought that this new one, the Chrome one, was expensive?
Oh no, it would be like a $500 figure, if not more. And you know what? I'd buy it all day. I'd get that all day for. I'm sorry, I would 100%. And you know what? I hate to tell people that other people would buy that up in a heartbeat.
well,
Because I think the other thing that people kind of, you're about to say something.
No, I was just going to say, and just adding on to what you said, I inquired with a third-party seller who was doing a run of custom Mando Beskar armor, and it was $500 just for the armor, guys. This isn't a figure that they took and put the armor on. This is just the armor. Of course, that includes the helmet, but $500. So what do you think? And it's funny, Jeremy brings up a comment here. He said Mando releases are going to catch up to Iron Man. Ryan, what do you think? What do you think the pricing would be like on a? Like
It would be north.
Mando?
I mean, if you figure the whole thing is die cast, it comes with a Grogu. It wouldn't have all those accessories like the Chrome one does now, so that would cut down on some of it. It would have probably the white jetpack and his other jetpack, so it's almost like Django where you could swap them. The 2 pistols, because I like the idea he had one stuffed in his belt, one was in the holster, and one was just in the belt. Like honestly, like going back to that Western gunslinger look. And on, you're commanding easily a 500 probably price, if not more. But the thing that I said this on, before, I know people compare Sideshow and they see like, the first comment is, well, there's already a Chrome Mando sitting in stock in Sideshow. Well, guess what? I don't want to be like that guy, but Hot Toys doesn't care what Sideshow bought. Okay.
Nope.
People need to realize that there are two sets.
They've already made their money.
Sideshow
right,
puts it. Sideshow puts their order in to Hot Toys saying we're going to buy X amount of units based on the projected sales that we think are going to happen. I'm not going to pretend to be a business major, but that's, Hot Toys is like, all right, cool. But at the end of the day, they sell the figure to so many more areas than just Sideshow that just because it's sitting in stock in Sideshow, that does not mean anything to Hot Toys that they're not going to still make another one. Okay. It's not their fault that Sideshow maybe overbought like they did in 2020. They're still going to, if they see a capitalization of sales to say, hey, we're going to do diecast and I think people are going to buy this thing. Yeah, they're going to do it. They're going to. It's a nice progression in figures if you own them all. It's just that if they don't do a diecast Mando, it really is kind of a waste to do another one. And the only other alternative I see is them doing a direct repackage. Yeah, I am. Let's go nuts. You obviously saw the Flash show.
Yeah, I was going to say, he definitely saw that trailer today.
The only other thing I can think of is if they don't do that, then they take the Chrome Mando, that's the Chrome painted one, and they take off the weathering. And they do like their version, not a polished one, like the super polished, but they do their version and dim it down and then add those accessories to it and keep the price low and just do like a him and Grogu kind of thing. Like but it's his show. I know it's Bo-Katan, but I mean, everyone else is nuts if you don't think you're getting another Mando. I'm sorry. I mean, that's just I don't see the logic in that.
Yeah.
Do a light up, do a light up dark saber. I don't know, a little USB dark saber. Something
more than what the current.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because I like everything.
People think that it's his show. Yeah, and the fact that people, it's Mando. Like, oh, don't give us a Mando. You're out of your mind.
It's like Return of the Jedi with
Luke.
You're
not going to get
the same
Luke.
conversation. Go ahead, Sean. It seems like you wanted to say something.
Yeah. So, like at the very end, when he shows Grief Karga IG-11, if you look, his holster on his right side of the belt is gone, and he has both. That. Yeah, he has both of the pistols tucked into his belt, where the pistol grips are facing outward away from him.
Well, it's like the Western style with the revolvers, man. That's
and his right gauntlet is different. I couldn't tell exactly what it was, because remember they did pull off the Whistling Birds launcher.
Yeah,
from his gauntlet.
They did.
And now the right gauntlet was different at the end of the show.
Did he grab someone else's gauntlet, maybe?
I don't know. But it does look different now. And I haven't been able to get a clear shot or a shot that's not blurry to pick it up on what it is. But when it's moving, you can tell it's completely different. So I have a feeling this is going to come.
Yeah.
With all the different parts and everything. And I think in season 4, he's going to be completely different. He'll have holsters on each side. He'll have something more. Or if he ends up, if my theory is right, and he's on Rangers of the Republic, then we'll get a different look for him.
What do you call it? Like the Han Solo with the strap around his thigh, like the blasters.
That'd be cool.
That'd be so
cool. Like a
little ankle pistol or something.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm surprised we didn't get that that little pistol that he had in Book of Boba Fett that he had on his back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised we didn't see that in.
Yeah, that was interesting. I was looking for it too, and I'm like, man, I'm surprised that didn't show.
Who knows? Maybe they'll get the flight suit color right.
That's true.
I guess.
No, Chris, no.
Well, on that note, we're gonna move on, guys. Great thoughts on.
I'm sorry, Chris.
This one, guys, is like, come on, Hot Toys. This is certainly for Star Wars fans. This is Wong 2.0. Like, come on, bro. You're not going to give us a Carl Weathers Grief Karga figure. I think, me personally, surprisingly, I actually prefer this look over the original look for Grief Karga. I just think it's a great arc for the character, great character development for him. High Magistrate Grief Karga. And I love the little droids going behind him, holding on to his cloak so it doesn't drag onto the ground. I think this would be an amazing figure. Personally, I would love to see this. I think a lot of us who are heavy into the Mando stuff have been hoping and praying for a Grief Karga forever. And if we miss out this time, I'm going to be very upset because, again, this could become another Wong, where Wong is a fan favorite character. And he's shown up in many different things. We never saw a figure of him. And I'm really hoping that that's not the case for this one, because Grief Karga, the person who plays him, Carl Weathers, as you guys know, is a big actor, and he's very, very much involved with the fans and stuff. So I think he deserves his own figure, and I think the fans would love to see it. So my personal thought is it's hard for me to say this is 100% going to happen because they've passed him up 2 seasons now. But this is one that I would love to see. It's very high on my list. But I'm not sure, But anyone else? What are your thoughts on the possibility of Grief Karga?
I don't see it happening at all.
If it does happen, I want to see season 1 first. Because I like how he looked in season 1, and then give us this later. Because if they give us this now, they won't go back and give us a season 1.
Yeah,
I would rather have a season 1 first. Not to mention also the protocol droid that's with him. I would like to see that too.
I know. That'd be cool.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they'll go backwards.
No, I agree. I think if we do get him, this is our chance. It would be nice to have the first version to go with, obviously, all of the season 1, season 2 figures that we have. But yeah, I agree with Chris. I think if they do it, it's going to be this version.
He was holding them pirates up at gunpoint, and so it felt like the Western. I don't know. I just got a different feeling from this. So it's possible, but I'm not going to say 100% either.
Sorry, guys, for bringing up Wong.
They do the I saw Trumbull Dust mention about the sculpt, and I kind of agree with him. They're good at doing the older people, and he has the beard, so the sculpted beard might be pretty nice. So
yeah, and we've said it many times. Like Hot Toys does great work with like slightly older sculpts, so I think they would kill a Carl Weathers sculpt. I think they would do a great job.
Yeah,
and I think he would look awesome.
There's also, sometimes it's like where we want a character or a background character where you don't know what they could come with. I feel like now up to this point, season 3, he could come with some stuff, maybe include from season 2, season 1 or something. But at least this episode, he was handing Mando a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
and we'll get another Grogu too.
Yeah, right. We'll get another Grogu. There's going to be probably at least 2 Grogus this season in 6-scale form. You know how they just throw them in with everything. 8-Bit Flea says, I don't understand why they haven't made him. He looks cooler in season 1. Yeah, I mean, of course, the season 1 look would have been great. Like I said, I really do like the pop of color on this look, but I would be happy with either one of them at this point. It's like with Wong, I would love his original look, but if they gave us like the Multiverse of Madness look, I would have taken that too. It's like I would take any version at this point. We got Collector Joey in the house. Collector Joey, I hope you're doing well, bro. Great to see you. Mark Palmer agrees. Mark Palmer says, I want the season 1 Grief Karga. Yeah, I'd love to see it, man. Hopefully we at least get one version of him. I kind of agree with Chris, though, not to play devil's advocate too much here, but I do think they would probably go with the season 3 look over the season 1 look. Just because they put out so many releases for the season 1 and season 2, they'd probably just stick with season 3 if we did get them. Because, again, this could be another Wong situation. You never know.
I mean, if you look, though, like after we had season 1 in 2019, season 2 in 2020. If you look at it in the May 4th on 2021, they went back to season 1. Yeah, so it's possible they could go back to season 1 because they gave us the blurg. Went back with Mando, OG 2.0, and then Quill.
Yeah. That's still me wanting Cara Dune, though.
Yeah, I want Cara Dune too.
See, people are talking about don't bring up Wong. I don't want to bring up Cara Dune. Hopefully that third party actually ends up happening because I'll sink my teeth right into that figure. I'll pre-order it day 1.
I'm sure you will.
Oh yeah. Gina Carano.
You just
Gina
be like,
hey,
put some butter on those hams.
Ryan's talking about Bo-Katan. Gina Carano, I got a crush on her, man. I would love to see her as a figure. And her character was fantastic. I was so sad to hear that she was being removed from the show because I loved the character. I thought she had a great arc. I thought she meshed very well with Mando and Grief Karga. I thought she was a great character. So I was very unfortunate to see nothing happen there. But,
maybe she's still alive in the show. If they ever work things out, she could come back.
Right, maybe in one of those other shows too, she could show up. You never know.
Or movie.
But I think she's still kind of hurt with how everything went down with Disney. So and from what I understand, I could be wrong, but I think I read that Disney asked for her back and she declined. So.
The thing is that she was seen there at Lucasfilms talking with people. So maybe we don't know. Maybe they said, hey, we can't get you in season 3. Maybe we can get you in season 4.
Right. Or something. Else,
there could be something going on. There could be, they wanted to give a formal apology, or they could have been like, whatever, for several things. I mean, we really don't know because she's not coming out and speaking about it publicly.
Right. I think if she does return, she'll be very quiet about it, because it'll be a big surprise.
It'd be like, yeah. Because I was kind of hoping we'd see something with her, like at the end of an episode, like at the end of the final episode. Maybe she's like in prison because she was captured or something, and see her like sitting down in a prison cell behind bars.
Yeah, something, man. Something. Let's see. Yeah, Tremble Dust says unless they recast her. Don wants to be rear naked choked by Gina Carano. I don't think I would go that far, Don. That's gonna hurt.
At this point, dude, any attention is better than none. So just let it happen, dude.
That's true. Misfit Wolf says we're getting a Mando season 2 Fat Bib Fortuna. Yeah, I don't. Our only hope is Return of the Jedi 40th for Bib Fortuna, I think, unfortunately. But moving on, guys, this one is going to be especially exciting for Sean here because I know he's talked about these many times. And I call these the Skittles Mandalorians just because, they're all these different colors, right? It's funny. Skittles Mandalorians. But, I mean, to me, guys, I got to be honest with you. I think This one just seems too easy for Hot Toys, you know, just to pump out a few of these. Maybe we'll see the return of a 2-pack finally, Sean, to see more of these Mandalorians. But I don't know. To me, this just screams
opposite.
like it seems like an army builder for them, and it's very simple. It's kind of building off of what they've already done with other Mandalorian figures, and I think they could really pump these out. Is this one high up on my list? After culminating my list of all Mandalorian Season 3 figures, no, it's not. It was originally when we saw the trailers because obviously it was really exciting, but would I buy some of these? Yeah. But I could see them doing maybe like a 2-pack of just a couple of these and kind of call it a day. But Sean, what are your thoughts on the possibility of getting some of these Skittles Mandalorians, as I call them?
I think it's a possibility, along with extra switch out plates for armor pieces and everything else, to include maybe 1 or 2 helmets.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Additional helmets,
because they're nameless characters as far as we know. So
build a Mando kit,
right?
Because it's all Velcro to just snap and replace, but there's some of them that have like the bicep armor from Imperial Stormtroopers, along with one of them had the left thigh and lower leg armor from a Stormtrooper as well.
Yeah,
on there. So there's such a big, huge mixture of everything that they could figure something out and do it. But if they'd make it, it would be, I don't know, I could see them just maybe only doing one with that idea of like a deluxe where it's multiple different armor options to choose from. And
the Build-A-Lorians, right?
Yeah, and make you basically buy that same thing over and over again.
Right.
Or take some of your Death Watch Mandalorians and replace the armor.
Yeah. Rusty Bronco says, so much going on. Batman 89, John Wick, Return of the Jedi, Guardians last movie. Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. So, again, that may affect the amount of figures. And once we get to the end of the stream, of course, we're going to close that poll out. And then us as a panel, we're going to share our thoughts on how many releases we see, or excuse me, announcements we see from Mando Season 3. But great thoughts on that. Ryan or Sean, did you have any, or excuse me, Ryan or Chris, did you have any thoughts on the possibility of these Skittles Mandalorians coming out?
I don't think that they'll do them. But like I said before, like the build a Mando kit where, yeah, they do like a figure where you just buy one. And
is that something you would buy?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I would. Yeah.
I think we're all kind of on board with that. Like all Mandalorian.
I mean, I just don't, it's weird because it seems like that's the route that Hot Toys makes most sense. And then they do stuff that doesn't make sense. Like they'll actually, like I can see them doing that, but yet like that makes more sense for them to do this. But they'll release like 6 individually different colored Mandos. Like it's just their logic is opposite of what we think makes sense.
That's true.
The logic is they should just do one body, like one stock one, and then they should give you multiples, like 4 or 5 helmets. That way, because it's to encourage you to buy like 5 or 6 of these things, and then you could have an army, you know, of no 2 would be alike. There'd be like X amount of color combinations that you could do. Just because they were really heavily teased, you know, in the trailer. And I have to admit, someone made a comment way back when. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't want to say they were underutilized, but like I just felt like there was more of them. Like they were always obviously just in the background because there's just
right, and they're like expendable characters, right?
They were very expendable. I guess that's the way of saying it. I just thought there'd be more of a. I mean, there was more. They were present, but yeah, expendable is probably a nice word. There's actually even a screen grab of one of them wearing Boba Fett's armor from like Empire, like they did like in the movie, like someone like wore like it was wearing like basically most of Boba Fett's armor, just because there's just so many different armors that you could have been wearing, like Sean said, stormtroopers and stuff like that. It's just the possibilities are endless. But I just feel like Hot Toys logic would be completely opposite, and you'll end up seeing like 6 individual figures released. And it's like at that point, I would never. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't like being forced into a box like that.
Yeah, I agree. Chris, did you have any thoughts on the Skittles Mandos before we move on to our next character?
I was just going to touch on what Ryan said about seeing the Boba Fett thing. I saw some remnants of like Django in there as well, but I really don't see them doing that. I think they're pretty pointless in my opinion. Like they were there, but they're not like brought to the screen. There wasn't much dialogue with them besides their council meetings or whatever they had.
What are you talking
And
about? They
even
all
then,
said,
there's
"I will
there's
go."
like, yeah, there's
I will go.
not really like sculpts to put with them either. Now they don't have to, but like, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it would be a waste of time with all the other stuff that they could do.
That's
For
fair. And like I
season
said,
3.
for
I
me,
wouldn't-
it's not high on my list. I probably would pick them up, but it's not a necessity for me after seeing all
And
the
I-
options.
And I thought about them and putting them on my list, but then I was like,
Yeah, that's
eh.
fair. And I think, Chris, I think a lot of people would agree with you in that regard. But yeah, well said. I definitely don't think this one is high on most people's list, but I think some people would certainly consider it if it came to fruition for sure. Moving on to our next one, guys. Really, a lot of you are probably saying to yourselves, like, why another Axe Woes? The first one has been sitting. You could buy it super cheap on the secondary market. Yes, I agree. And is this one a necessity for me? No, because at the end of the day, what I may end up doing is just buying the first one and getting a custom sculpt from somewhere and calling it a day. But I do want to note that his armor did change a little bit in this season as well. So it's certainly possible that we will get a new Axe Woes with a head sculpt finally. Do I think this one is likely? Probably not. I got to be honest with you. I think Hot Toys probably is like, we don't really need to make another Axe Woes. Would I like an opportunity to get one with a head sculpt? Yes, because it's very frustrating that both Bo-Katan and Casca Reeves had a head sculpt, but he did not. Very frustrating and very annoying to me. It's nice that we at least got an Axe figure, but definitely a big miss in my opinion. I've said this before, but I'm not going to spend too much time on Axe. I just want to say I would like to see this, but I don't think it's very likely. But Ryan, Sean, what are your thoughts? Because I know we've talked about this one before.
I mean, I would like it. However, it's more than likely not. But I would like a 2.0 of Axe Wolves. However, with Bo-Katan, maybe she'll come with an Axe Wolves head sculpt that we can use for,
like a Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure.
And use it on the other figure, and just to try and crank up sales. Because if you look at the videos where they're going through like the Hong Kong stores, Axe Wolves is sitting there too.
Yeah, very much so.
And he's sitting on Sideshow. He's sitting on almost every site. So if they offer a head sculpt with Bo-Katan, okay, wait a minute. Now I can add this and complete this figure. Hot Toys starts racking in more money, selling stuff off the shelves from multiple vendors, along with selling an additional Bo-Katan, a 2.0 version within a year of the first one.
Yeah. No, I mean, that would be smart for them to do. I don't see them personally putting a head sculpt with Bo-Katan.
No, of course not. Because
but it would be a good idea. It would make too much sense for them.
Stupid people that deal with businesses that have ideas and nobody wants to listen to us.
Yeah,
not going to mention any names, Howard.
Real quick, I want to read this comment from Insane One. Always getting the chat hyped up. Insane One says, "This looks like the smartest chat around. I concur. So I know you will leave a like and subscribe to the Hot Toys Hotline in this killer panel. If you haven't already, my tapeworm thanks y'all." So yes, guys, once again, if you have not already, drop a like on the stream and subscribe if you have not subscribed already. And also a reminder to enter that giveaway before before 12 o'clock, before the clock strikes 12 tonight, EST. Make sure you get entered into that giveaway. Don says the Axe forgets, but the collector doesn't. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't see this one happening. Ryan or Chris, do you have any thoughts on Axe Woes before we move on? Again, I know we don't want to spend too much time on them, but this is one that has been brought up many times.
I mean, I don't have the first one, so I'm in a position where if they did do a new one with a sculpt, then I would obviously just get it just because it's the superior version. But I don't really care for it. Doesn't. I don't. It's not one of those. Once again, in my head, I'm sticking to my number of how many I think they're going to make, and he doesn't make the list. Bottom line.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
that's fair. Chris, any thoughts on Axe Woes before we move on?
No.
No.
All
right, Chris. Well,
no.
Chris, I'm actually going to let you start on this one because this is one that you brought to my attention that was on your list, and I was like, oh man, that would be really cool. Now, this isn't the version I would have wanted, but I think that ship has sailed. But Chris, let's talk about your boy Carson Teva here. What are your thoughts on this possibility of being an announcement from Hot Toys, Chris? I know this is definitely a fan favorite character, and I actually think I believe it may have been Jetta Patrol who recently did an interview with this actor, which I thought was really cool.
It was pretty cool.
And I think he's a great character. But me personally, Chris, I wanted to see him in his flight suit. What are your thoughts on getting this version of the character?
Yeah, what I should have specified. So when I sent him to you, that's actually what I imagined as him in that flight suit. I definitely think he plays an important part in the story for sure. I actually, in season 3, I loved every moment with him in the scene, the suspense, like the build up with him, like just the expressions on his face, his tone, like I just like his mindset too. He's kind of like he's on the rebel side, but he does that part that needs to like push to start that fire. It's not like he's laid back or whatever and just letting the Empire take over. Like he can tell there's something going on or coming up again. So
right,
yeah.
He's not the one to stay silent about it either.
Right.
Yeah, but no, I thought it was a great pick, Chris. This one wasn't on my list, but I'm like that would be a cool figure, and I'd probably pick it up.
And one more touch, seeing him at the end of this season talking with Den just kind of tells me like he'll be in the future as well.
There's more for him for sure. I agree with that. Sean or Ryan, do you have any thoughts on Carson being a possible announcement from Hot Toys?
After watching Bitter Asian Dude's channel, he would completely sign the right over for his likeness.
You think so? Yeah,
I think so, and I think he would even do it at a reasonable price where Hot Toys would be like, "Yeah, we gotta do this." Now, if they will really do it or not, I don't know. I would like it, but the more and more I'm thinking about it, the more and more I'm starting to kind of get a little bit disappointed on possibilities here.
Yeah. And again, we're gonna touch on how many we see happening from this season, but I'm not gonna spoil the poll yet for everybody, but it's very one-sided, and we're gonna talk about that.
It's very one-sided to my number.
Yeah. Brita says it depends on how you are collecting this line. If you need the main characters and the best of each, you'll be fine with a 2.0 and redone figures. I have the full Mando line and don't want lots of doubles. Yeah, I agree. I do have a lot of I have all of the Mando figures actually currently in my collection that have been released. So yeah, I do have a very full collection. And yeah, Matt, trust me, but the thing is, Wedge has been passed up so many times, so maybe there's hope of seeing him at some point, but, that's just not high on their list, unfortunately. As high as it would be on our list, it's not high on their list.
And I just told them that, like I said, Hot Toy, they love their Mandalorian.
They do. That's for sure, and they've proven that, showing how many releases we've received from the first 2 seasons. Don says he'll be in Ahsoka and the Skeleton Crew. They did, right? Showcasing all of their releases and stuff they've done for the Mandalorian. Before we move on, 8-Bit says this actor is great. We will see more of him because Din will get missions from. Yeah, I think that's certainly what it alluded to in the end when Din met up with them and kind of said, "Hey, I'm ready to start maybe working for the New Republic." So I thought that was really cool. But another pick from Chris that I certainly don't want because I don't like this character at all, but. Kind of goes along with Carson that we just talked about is Elia Kane. I'll start by saying I'm going to keep it short.
You would want this figure, Chris?
I hate
no.
This
So the
character.
question was like predictions or what we could see.
Right.
I could see them just technically when I sent my list, I was thinking of like Big Bretta said, if you collected the whole line instead of doing doubles, I was going with what they haven't done, and I feel like again, just like Carson Teva, that with her, at least in this season, she played a key turning point, to the whole being.
And she's a big time with Moff Gideon as well, obviously. Right. Yeah, I mean,
I don't get too many officers though, like old officers and stuff like that. But
yeah, I'd rather have some of those officers from the round table than her.
Yeah, right.
Some of the higher ups, I should say.
No,
me personally, I was going to keep it short and sweet. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, this may be one on other people's list. Me personally, I don't like the character. Not very exciting to me. I don't need a figure of her, and I don't see it as likely when we're talking about likely scenarios. It's just not one for me, and that's all I really have to say about her. Not a huge
I
fan of
hated
this
her
character.
too. Give me the lolly or the popsicle glow thing.
I know, bro. I mean,
USB
I'd rather
power-
have
USB
now.
powered.
Dr. Pershing is one I would much prefer over her, and she did my boy
Right.
Pershing dirty. So,
Yeah, 2-pack with their popsicles and shit.
We need more.
Kind of
we
alluded
need-
she had a red one, so you kind of knew.
right, some
Sean,
foreshadowing.
how many times have we been talking? We need generic Imperial officers and rebels,
Yeah.
like rebel pilots and stuff, like generic, like no-name faces. That's what we need
Yeah,
We do.
for
I
Army.
mean, if
8-bit,
we
I
see
didn't hate
her-
that episode.
If we got her from season 3, she would have to come with the probe droid.
Yeah,
And then, but if she's going to come out, I'd rather see the Imperial officer side of her.
yeah. There's just
And
so
then-
many more we'd rather have over her. You know.
Yeah. However,
so many
I think this actress did a really good job in her portrayal of the character.
Yeah, no, her acting was perfectly fine. I just don't like the character. I never did because obviously she's not a new character. We saw her with Moff Gideon before, so it's just not for me. Not for me personally. But the next one, guys, because again, I don't want to spend too much time on these because I know people aren't too excited. But the next one, I think a lot of people are going to be like, ding, ding, ding. Yep, that's one I want. That's one I want. So Praetorian Guards. Seeing as they did these for the sequel trilogy, I'm going to say this is definitely on Hot Toys' radar just because I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of people don't want to wait, and they're going back and buying the later generation of Praetorian Guards from the sequel trilogy. There's a lot of posts after these guys are first shown off, and sorry, guys, to open an old wound, but I chose a very sad photo here of our boy Paz Vizsla making his final stand. But the reason I chose this photo, right, is because I thought to myself, like, Hot Toys is probably thinking, like, okay, if we release these Praetorians, there's many different figures that we could sell because of these figures, right? And I think a lot of people, even if you have one heavy Mando, some people may consider picking up that Paz Vizsla to recreate this scene. And I pre-ordered the Paz Vizsla, and I'm hoping that we're going to get these Generation 1 Praetorian Guards, because this is exactly how I want to pose him. I want to pose him fighting two of them off like this, and him getting stabbed with these like shock batons. So I do think this one is more likely than a lot of the ones we've talked about tonight, and I would love to see it. I'm just going to leave it at that. I think they look really cool. I loved all the scenes with them. I love seeing the progression between this version and what we see in the sequel trilogy. And I do have one of the heavy blade Praetorian Guards in my collection, and I think that looks really great on the shelf. So I like this design even more than that. So this would be really cool in my opinion.
Yep, I would agree. I think they should release, because they were all the same suit. It's just that it was different actors wearing them. Because I know there's one when they all came out and they were like in line next to Heavy Mando. They looked a little off. Like one looked shorter than the other one, but they were the same suit. It was just like it was 3 different actors wearing them. So if that's the case, they should release. Going back to what Sean said, smart business is. I think they should release one figure and give you all 3 weapons in one box.
Yeah.
That way, yes, you'll always have extra, because if you buy 3 of them, you're doubling up on weapons. I get it, but instead of releasing because there's no need to release an individual figure per just to change the weapon. So if you just got one and they stuck in all 3 weapons in the box, then you can decide what you want to do. You want to buy 2 of them, you want to buy 3 of them, you want to buy 6. I mean, I would probably get 2. Maybe 3, just because you only saw 3. I mean, you did see them in the final, episode, I guess. But they should do 1 and just stick the weapons in there. USB powered too.
It's interesting, Ryan, because for the sequel trilogy, they did 2 different versions, but they actually did have 2 different helmets and everything. So because of that, that's why but they did include multiple weapons with each. So like the heavy blade that I have, he comes with the heavy blade, but he also has that like laser whip that can straighten up, but he has a bendable version, and there's a fixed version as well. So he actually comes with, I think, 3 weapons. So I thought that was pretty cool. But I agree. I would love to see just like one ultimate release. I would get probably 2 of these bare minimum, just to have them fighting Paz, just like in this fashion here. 8-Bit Flea says these guys look cool, but they power them down for Grogu to clown on them. I thought that was funny, dude. I actually like that scene when he's just running around on the lights up top. I thought that was cool. And same one says, I'll take 2, sold. Everybody's saying pour some liquor out for Paz. Yes, a great ending to the character. I think if a lot of people disagree on certain things in the season, I think a lot of people can agree that was a great ending for the character, in my opinion. He went out like a boss.
It was.
Yep.
And it really disappointed me, Sean, after I saw that, because I'm like, man, why didn't they? I wish they would have waited for that second Paz Vizsla release and did it for Mando Season 3 so we can kind of have like a partially melted Gatling gun. That would have been really cool, in my opinion.
Hey, it could still happen.
Yeah, maybe they'll squeeze it in. You never know. You know, I mean, I would love to see it, though. I thought that was a great scene, a great ending to the character. And I had to grab another one because I was really hoping for the possibility of seeing these Praetorian guards so I can recreate that scene. Yeah, 8-Bit, I think this is one a lot of people can justify doubling up on, you know, because there's just so many scenes where you can kind of throw them in with Mando. Obviously, we had that scene with Mando and Grogu fighting them off together at the end. So there's a lot of different options for them for sure. Collector Joey says he's pouring his sweet tea. Love it, dude. Sweet tea at 9 o'clock at night. I don't know what time it is for you, but I know a lot of people, that sugar will keep them up. Sean or Chris, any thoughts on the Praetorian Guards, the Generation 1 Praetorian Guards being a thing, and would you like to see them?
I would like to see them, and I think Ryan was right with using what I said before about just one with 3 weapons.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree with Ryan's assessment of my assessment.
Those are great thoughts, Ryan. Great thoughts there.
Good job, Ryan.
Your source material is impeccable.
To be fair, I said it 3 weeks ago, but who's counting?
Okay, fine. I agree with Ryan's assessment when I reassess the assessment that Ryan made, that Ryan reassessed what I made.
I appreciate it. You know, as your video stated earlier today, Sean, I appreciate you acknowledging an error and being accountable for it.
You're welcome, and I do acknowledge that was my mistake, and I'm sorry. Okay.
All right, guys, but Sean.
Now, if other people could do it, that'd be fantastic.
Sean, if you could talk about the Praetorian Guards, that'd be fantastic, because Chris is eagerly waiting to talk.
Actually, I am talking about the Praetorian Guard, because if you saw, they didn't discuss any misinformation at all. Actually, they had no lines whatsoever, and they were pretty precise in their attack pattern.
Well,
did I call it? Did I say anything wrong?
You didn't say anything wrong, because HG is in the house. What's up, HG? I hope you're doing well. Great to see you. Awesome to catch you while we're still live. I hope you're doing well, though. Great to see you as always. Praetorian Tards. I mean, Oilers, come on now. Come on now.
Dude, that's a guy who's always honest, too. He speaks his mind. Good job.
Oilers just has all the jokes. He's got an arsenal of jokes ready. I hope you're doing well, Oilers. Great to see you, bro. But yeah, Sean, I think the thought of having them with multiple weapons and such would be definitely for the collector, in my opinion. I'd love to see it. And again, I say what you want about the sequel trilogy, but I think the Praetorian Guards aesthetic is really nice with that bright red color. So that just kind of reminds me of these. So I would love to see these. And I do much prefer this first look. This is almost more like half Sith Trooper. When I'm looking at parts of the armor, I'm like, this is more of like the Sith Trooper with some Praetorian Guard parts mixed in than the Praetorian Guard that we see in the sequel trilogy with that like interesting like linked armor and such. So, but Chris, any thoughts on the possibility of a Praetorian Guard? Is this something that would interest you at all?
Yeah, the whole scene in general was pretty cool, and it was funny to see everybody in like the Facebook groups, starting to look for Praetorian Guards and stuff like that. I don't know if I'd pick them up. It's kind of one of those things where I'd have to see it actually be done first.
In figure form, yeah.
Yeah, and like see if it's something that excited me. In the show, they definitely did. And then, as far as Paz goes, if you're going to go out, I think that's definitely the way to do it. Kind of wish he got to see more of the battle and at least them win before he was like, maybe, wait for it to be a little bit closer to the end for him to go out, but it is what it is. And foreshadowed, his son and stuff. A lot of people were sad about that, his son's being left behind, but
yeah,
maybe we'll see more of him in the future. But yeah, not much to go off on. Maybe they can do these weapons. I don't know how they'd USB power them. I mean, if they could do lightsabers, they could do it like that. So I agree with Ryan on that aspect.
That I agree with Sean.
And I
maybe they could do a 2-pack instead of the one with different weapons. They've done Trooper 2-packs before.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
they
even though
done
these
a lot
aren't
of
really
2-packs, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, anything's possible with them at this point. We always say that. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it there. I like the aesthetic. I like the way they look. It'd be
Yeah.
pretty cool to see in the display, pop color.
Yeah, I agree. Euler says they killed my favorite
He
armor
likes the
guy.
way
It's like
they
I
look.
hate that they look good. It's like girls seeing hotter girls at the gym. They look great, but they hate them.
My gosh.
Oh, Oilers. HG says my favorite Praetorian guard is the double blade with the large brim on the helmet. 2 price for me. That's actually, I believe that's the helmet I have on mine. Definitely a really cool helmet. And like I said, say what you want, but I think that's a really cool design. So that's why I ended up picking it up. But we're gonna move on to our final figure of the night. We're gonna talk about, and no surprising, if you guys saw the Return of the Jedi discussion, this one is coming back around because
Is it Sean's pick? Yeah,
of course it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, there's not too much to say about this one. We mentioned with the Return of the Jedi possible announcements, but this is like, come on, Hot Toys. Like, you gave us the first order one, and we appreciate that because it's at least something. But we need a better style of helmet and a better overall outfit. And if you're not going to give it to us for Return of the Jedi, throw us a bone and give it to us for the Mandalorian.
I thought because it was an Andor.
It'll just suck having that Mando branding on it, though. At least for me, if I looked at
Well,
it.
of course,
What,
yeah.
in
In a
the
perfect
box?
world, we get an original trilogy one. But at the end of the day, as long as we get a close version to this, I'll be happy. You know, I mean, I think the Mando version looks great. I would love to see it. I'm not too sure on the breakdown of the differences between what we saw throughout the original trilogy and with this one. I haven't looked at them side by side, but again, it's just the helmet for me. This has that Stormtrooper-esque helmet versus the First Order Stormtrooper helmet, which has a quite a different look to it, which I don't think looks bad. I just obviously prefer this design. So I'm with you, Sean, on this one. I would love to see it. Do I think it's likely? No, I don't. I'm just going to say it. It's if we're going to get it, I'm hoping that Return of the Jedi brings it out because
I do too.
For this one, it's just they've skipped on it so many times. It's hard for me to be like, oh, it's coming out, because
Did they have a lot of screen time in Jedi? I don't remember.
Not really. They had more in A New Hope, but
yeah,
I was gonna say,
obviously
so
the
there really
trench
isn't a
run
reason.
scenes is where we see them the most. But yeah.
Yeah.
very very brief.
You know, when
Clink
they're-
says yes, army build.
when Darth Vader arrives, you see more of them standing there on the flight deck, and then
Yeah.
when the Emperor arrives, you see like a ton of them there.
Yeah, it's very limited, but I mean, guys,
Like
they
I
did
said,
a
it was in
Space
Andor,
Trooper
too.
from A New Hope,
It
and
was in
Andor as
Andor.
well. But they did the
I
Space
saw it
Trooper
in
from A New
Andor.
Hope, and that was like a very brief scene in the spaceport. You see him standing there, and they did that figure. So
I mean, this just
With
goes
a
back. This is,
Ryan,
what's that?
with a Ryan Mr. Mom head sculpt.
you said you would get a Mr. Mom head sculpt for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty
well,
cool.
I mean,
with a beanie. Yeah. But this goes back
Yeah.
to I think what Sean, you and I were talking about. Like, I just want like Imperial officers. I mean, I know they just they're like background figures, but it really does kind of elevate a display more
Oh, yeah.
when you have more background characters. Generic Imperial officers like the Death Star gunner. Remember you and I talked about like the graveyard figures that like were shown but never like figures like that. You know, this TIE Fighter pilot. Just like I said, other Imperial, and the same thing with Rebels too. Rebel pilots, things like that. I mean, I just wish we got more of those, and they don't even have to be sculpted off anybody. It can just be a generic face. You know, it doesn't have to be molded
Yeah.
off a specific actor. Probably even save them money without having to pay like a huge license to somebody. But
and
yeah,
see,
I
and
just
they
wish
could
we got-
reference it. They could reference
yeah, I
it.
mean,
with
but you
Star
know what I
Wars
mean. Like, I just wish we
Battlefront.
had stuff like that. Yeah, I wish we had stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Oh,
I think they'd be
man.
shocked about how many people would army build them. Like pilots, dude, I would minimally get 2 of these to have behind Darth
Yeah.
Vader. Minimally.
But it's like with like how you're talking about the X-wing pilots, where it shows their face and everything.
Yeah.
Just label it as Star Wars Battlefront from the video game, and then you're not
Exactly.
paying likeness to anyone.
If they do Battlefront, bro, like imagine if they just out of
Dude.
nowhere were like Iden Versio, here you go. I'd lose my mind. I'd
Man,
totally
or
lose
like
my mind.
the Hoth Rebel Trooper.
Iden Versio
they don't
would be
even
amazing.
they don't even need a mask or a head sculpt with the Hoth Rebel Trooper. Just
Yeah.
get the scarf over the face and the goggles down, and you're good.
Yeah,
All
it's
you
like a
need
lot of
is
people-
eyes.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
people want the Rebels from Return of the Jedi. It's like you can do generic faces, and it's not like they'd be paying a lot to do a Rebels face, though. To be fair, they
Just
could
pull
still
off
figure
your-
that out.
Just pull off the head sculpts from all the Avengers that you're trying to sell now that nobody's
no.
buying, and put them with some
Turn
green
around.
cap.
Lane.
The flies.
Blast 'em.
And
Lane,
calm near Endor.
real quick, Lane, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Lane says Death Star Gunner 2.0. But before we answer that question, Lane, we have a special message here from a certain Ghostbuster on the panel.
Oh, man. Hey, everyone. Mr. Mom Collectibles. I'm just taking a second out from busting some ghosts. I want to thank you for your donation to Connor and to the Hot Toys Hotline channel. And just remember, if you got a ghost problem, who you going to call?
Love it. Guys, I begged Ryan. When he did that for his video on his channel, I begged him to do it again for a super chat. So we have two alternate versions of that one, but there's one of Ryan's videos that he did. I thought that was hilarious, but
Strapped on the 50-pound proton patches for you.
I know. He busted it out just right. He said, ha ha ha. Ryan classic.
You
Yeah,
said
great.
busted,
busted
it,
out,
busted
alright.
it out for you.
Thanks.
Busted it out for you.
You busted it out, all right.
That's
but
what
Lane,
he said.
Lane, to answer your question, I would love to see another Death Star gunner, or like Ryan said, that Imperial. I forgot the exact name of that trooper that comes with that amazing display base. We talked about it in one of.
It was
our
a Death
streams.
Star gunner, I think it was.
Or no, it was Death
was
Star
a-
Trooper.
I think it was Imperial
at the
Death
command
Star
station.
Trooper.
It was
yeah, Death
in
Star
that
Trooper.
video we did with mine,
Right.
the first stream we did. It was in that command.
Right.
He had the command post or whatever.
Right. But yeah, I would love to see another Death Star gunner lane. I have the first version, and to have multiples would be ideal for me, because that trooper is beautiful. There's a reason he sells for so much money. We've said it many times. People in the chat have said it. There's just not enough going around in terms of Imperial officers and other Imperial troopers apart from Stormtroopers. So I'd love to see it, dude. I would love to see another Death Star gunner. But again, anybody on the thoughts, feel free to jump in. Would you like to see another
I
Death
want
Star
this so
gunner?
bad. I want this one really. Like it just.
Yeah.
I do. If a third party did
Come on,
it,
Hot
I'd buy a
Toys.
third party figure. Honestly, if a third party did it, I would never.
Sean mentions it, but Ryan preaches about it constantly. Just give him the damn
Lane's giving me
fighter.
crap
Give him the
like
pilot.
Chris does. Lane said, "Of course you have one of them." Lane, it took me a long time to get one of those. I had to wait to find one for the right price. But yes, of course I do, Lane. You know me. I love my troopers, especially Imperial troopers. So
And,
I
and
had
when
to
it
get
comes out, he'll get 2 more.
I'll get one more. Slow your
Yeah,
roll,
you're lying
buddy.
to
Slow your
yourself,
roll.
pal.
I'll get one more. No, I mean,
You're
look at
lying
all
to
my
yourself,
clones. I only got one.
You're
of them,
lying
so
to
apart
me,
from
and
the
you're lying to
follower
this panel. And the
You're
chat as
lying to the
well.
chat, Chris. You're totally lying, and you're gonna
I
get
don't
your R2.
lie.
Oh my
Boys,
Lord.
your mama needs to go grab you and take
Oh,
you
no.
out with a stick,
Oh,
and they get a little smack of the deck, yo.
Oh my Lord.
What?
Don with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Don and Lane. By the way,
don't play the
Lane,
shit. You can play the non-shaving cream.
Should I bust mine out? Mine's the most basic one, but it's a little inside.
Turn your
joke
volume
between
down,
us.
everybody.
we haven't
Connor
even
puts his
seen
up.
it.
I
Turn your
adjusted the
down.
volume, but
Turn
Don
your
says
volume
there is
down.
no Dana, only Zool. So Don, this is for you. This is a celebration for you. The Hot Toys Hotline. Thanks. So guys,
Connor,
that
you definitely
clip-
have the weakest of the 3 so far.
Oh my!
but it's an inside
God.
joke, right? That's a clip that I sent. I'm
It
gonna
still
do more.
doesn't-
Don't
I
you
know,
worry.
but the save in the day is still the best. You can't.
So
play it.
guys, what that clip originally came from? I had bought a Ghostbusters vinyl, and it was playing the song "Saving the Day, Saving the Day," and that song
Oh,
was
that's even
playing.
better. Right there,
And I was
sing it.
dancing to that. I was like, I'm listening to my new Ghostbusters vinyl, and I sent a video of them to me dancing. Exactly, Don. I had to hit him with the Vogue, but so I sent him a
Bro,
video of
that's
me
your
dancing.
dance for every song, though.
I know.
Oh, that's right. Well, yeah, that was a callback. Chris one time uploaded a video, and at the end of his video, for some reason, the very end song was like extremely bass boosted.
Bass
It like
boosted.
shot up to like 200,000% on the volume and the bass. And I did that dance for that, so it was like my little callback to that video. Jeremy said, "What did I just witness? You just witnessed greatness. Do you guys want to see it again? I mean, shit.
No.
In fact,
There's another little taste of
Bro,
my.
he
my
said
expert-
no and still played. Like he didn't even give nobody a chance.
I mean, Jeremy
no, he
was
just
asking
wants
what
it
did
to
he
be
just
seen.
witness. He had to see it again. He wasn't sure what he witnessed, so he had to see it again.
I
So
watched
what
it.
happened was Connor had an allergic reaction to strawberries, and
Right.
for
No, there was a
some
bee
reason
in my house.
his girlfriend decided to play music. What happened?
Yeah, there was a bee in my
Oh
house.
my-
That's what it was.
Look at insane one. Starting
Thank
a
you,
poll
12-inch
here.
new stream. We need a TIE Fighter pilot with TIE Fighter interior.
It's-
Thank you. Let's get back onto
Yeah, I agree. But yes,
do a poll
insane
for
one.
best clip. Yeah.
Well, we'll do that. We'll do that, and maybe on Thursday stream. Remind me, and we'll do a poll of what people would like to see. Some stupid stuff. Triple Dust says I'm blind again. Don says if you didn't realize, yes, we're all friends. Especially Don. Shout out to Don Prime for hanging out with us from Geeking Out. Don's our boy. Don, I got to get you back on soon. You're always so busy. I don't want to bother you, but we'd love to have you back on chatting with the boys. It's great to have you here. Yes, exactly. Insane one. It's magic. But yes, Lane, going back to your question, I think all of us would love to see another Death Star gunner. It's just such a sought after figure, and like was mentioned in the chat, very expensive on eBay. And as we mentioned, we all love Imperials, so I'd love to see it personally.
Oh no.
Well, OG, what do you want to see? Which one should we bust out? Should we bust out the Chris one again?
I'm just...
So you're right. So Ryan, because of this one, OG, thank you so much for the $2. By the way, OG says, "Are you the keymaster? I am Zul, the gatekeeper." So we're gonna give you another special message from Ryan, but we'll go with the different version. We'll go with the different version.
Clean version.
Yeah, we'll go with the clean version in case we're going PG-13 here.
Hey everyone, Mr. Mom Collectibles here. I just wanted to take a second out from busting some ghosts to thank you for your contribution to the Hot Toys Hotline YouTube channel. And just remember, if you have a ghost problem, who are you gonna call?
Love it.
Not
I love
that
it.
guy.
I love it. The dedication is real. I like Ryan busted out all of his gear for that one. But thank you so much, OG, for the $2 super chat. I very much appreciate it. Matt, I did get a little whiplash from that video. I was really swinging around a lot in that video.
Oh,
so
you
maybe
got
I did.
whiplash?
Yes, Don is the man. I did not buy Whiplash, Chris. I know where you're going with that. I did not buy Whiplash. And also,
No, I mean,
oh, that's right. Yeah,
today.
Chris. Sorry, I was thinking too soon, but I guess not. Chris got hit by an 18-wheeler today, guys. So we're surprised he's actually here with us. Yes, Don is the man. Blue Tattoo in the house. What's up, Blue Tattoo? I hope you're doing well. Euler says, "What about a fly piter tilet?" I don't know, dude. Is that a carriage I don't know about? I'm
My
not
brain
sure.
hurts from the.
I know. I just slow myself down and listen to that for a second.
Yo, so when I saw it, I was like, "Damn, I really am concussed." And then you said it, and so
Yeah, fly. It's from getting hit by that 18-wheeler, dude. You're still recovering. Don says Nate sent me the listing for the Spirit Pack. So, Don, it sounds like you're getting a taste of your own medicine because Ryan was actually the one that started that train of the Spirit Pack with Nate. So maybe Ryan said, and I don't know much about how
It's sold
often
out.
the Ghostbuster stuff comes back, but Ryan said there's a chance it might show up again.
Yeah, they'll do another wave. They usually do multiple waves of it, but the initial wave it's sold out.
Well, hopefully, Don, the next time it comes up, you got that trigger finger ready, because sometimes you hesitate and that stuff just disappears. Austin Nicholas in the chat. Austin says, "Hey guys, can't stay long. Getting my house ready to rent out tomorrow. Hope you're doing well, Austin. It's great to see you here as always. I hope that goes well. I know that's a lot of work preparing houses and stuff like that. So, congrats on that. Hopefully, you'll be getting a lot of Hot Toys funds from renting your house out. Just more money in your pocket, And I know you got a new house and everything, so I'm sure it'd be nice to have some extra funds, So, congrats on that though. And 8-Bit Flea says, "Looks like my Ahsoka is finally shipping and my 89 Batwing." Well, congrats on that. The 89 Batwing from Jazz Inc. is pretty awesome. I would never have the space for that thing because it's ginormous, but congratulations on that. I can't wait to see your photos of it because it looks really, really cool. But that is a ginormous piece if I've ever seen one.
That's what she said.
That is what she said. I was just waiting for it. I set myself up for that one. The moment I said it, I'm like, all right, I deserve that. But guys, that's gonna wrap it up. Actually, let me take this banner off the stream. Once again, guys, as always, we got 51 people in here. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and drop a like on the stream. And also, on your way out, make sure you check out the giveaway video because, again, the entries do close once the clock strikes 12 a.m. Tomorrow, EST. So make sure you get your entries in. And, again, I will put out information either during this week or on Thursday's stream about when we're actually going to do the drawing because we had to push it back a little bit, and I'll explain why later. But just a reminder, guys, as always, thank you so much, everybody, for being here, for our wonderful people in the chat, as well as our great moderators. I appreciate you guys, as always, for your time and your support. We're going to close out the panel here and get our results, and we'll share our results from the panel. Guys, ending at the poll here, it looks like 3 to 5 announcements with 81% is the majority vote for the Mandalorian Season 3 announcements. I'm going to probably stick with beyond 5, right in that range, like just over 5. I could see like 6 to 8 being the money number for Hot Toys. So I'm going to go with 6 to 8. I'm not going to stick with the minority. I'm going to say 6 to 8. And I would probably lean more towards 6. I would say it's going to be less than we would expect from previous seasons. So, but Ryan, what would you say for that final vote? 3 to 5.
Yeah.
Chris, what are you sticking with for Mando?
I voted 3 to 5.
3 to 5. And then Sean, finally, what are you sticking with for amount of releases for Mando Season 3?
I didn't vote because Howard's unpredictable. I'm being serious. I can see all sides of it. I can see us still getting like 8, and I can also see us only getting 3. So right now, it's undecided.
That's fair. That's fair.
So this way, I won't be someone next year saying, "I told you guys we're getting this many," and it'd be like, "No, you didn't."
It's very hard to make the call for sure. That's very difficult. And by the way, guys, if you guys pre-ordered Jedi Survivor, thank you, Penn, for letting us know. It's also great to see you in the stream, Penn. Penn says that the Jedi Survivor collector's edition that comes with that lightsaber that's exclusive to that edition has shipped out. So that's really cool. I did get my email for R2 yesterday, and so did Chris and many others. I'm sorry to hear you didn't get your R2 email, but hey, I'd be pretty happy with that Jedi Survivor Collector's Edition. I passed on it because I already have the normal version, which I'm very happy with, but I thought that was a really cool set, in my opinion. And as always, guys, some guy dropping the links in the chat. Subscribe to Hot Toys Hotline, myself, Collecting Madness, Hot Toys Nightmare, Mr. Mom Collectibles, everybody. And also the links, as always, are in the description as well. Thank you so much, Brita, for being here. Brita, we'll have to get you in on a stream soon. I got to coordinate with you because I know with the time zone differences is tough. But I really want to have you on soon, dude, because, you know, I got a lot of love for your channel, and you're a really cool dude. So I'd love to have you on soon, and thank you so much for hanging out with us. And yes, Oilers, I can't even talk, the Flash trailer was amazing. Very, very hyped. Ryan and I were talking about that before the stream, but I'm really excited to check that out. And yes, thank you so much, OG, for checking in on Chris. He seems to be doing all right. He made it out lucky. And Chris has a big next couple weeks. Big congrats to Chris. My boy's getting married. So big congratulations to Chris, man. I'm so proud of him. So happy for him and his fiance. So we're going to have a fun weekend this weekend. I'll be there with him. So congrats to Chris, everybody. Everybody say congratulations. My boy Chris is getting married. So
I'm sorry for your loss, buddy.
Yeah. I'm sorry for your Hot Toys collecting is about to go down the drain, so it was fun.
Hey, it's okay. You only have DTOS. It's okay. You only have DTOS, so you're not really invested in collecting.
All right,
yet.
now who invited this guy?
right.
Okay, on a serious note, seriously, I hope the best for both of you.
Appreciate it, dude.
Okay.
That's our typical Sean fashion. Apifly, have a good night as well. And again, everybody who's making their way out, have a great night to you. And thank you so much for being here. And Blue Tattoo, as I always say, you're never late. You're always on time. And thankfully, we have a stream replay, so you'll be able to go back and watch what we had to talk about. And I very much appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us for a little bit. And that same goes for everybody here. You guys are incredible. Some great conversation. I love hearing both sides of the discussion on many things. So I really appreciate you guys, as always. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Jeremy, Plastic Hero, thank you so much for being here, as always. Penn said that she had to mute a bunch of times. That's fair. There's a lot of spoilers in this stream, so we apologize for that. And yes, 8-Bit, I think we're all dead. We're all dead at this point. If you have a significant other, you're dead. You're done for. Everybody's saying congratulations to Chris. We appreciate that. Yes, it's a big moment for him, and I'm so glad, once again, that he remained unscathed mostly from today, and he'll be able to continue to celebrate like he had planned. So that would have been very unfortunate. But as always, guys, with the Tuesday streams, I'm running short on time here, so I just want to say check out everybody's channels. The links have been dropped in the description. They have been dropped in the comments as well. Also, guys, real quick, Ryan has a really cool stream coming up on Thursday morning. He's going to be talking to the, I believe he's a movement double. Is that his Carl Newman's
Yeah,
movie
Carl
double.
Newman. Yeah, 12 Thursday at 12 p.m. if anyone's around. It's definitely different than what I normally do. But Thursday at 12 p.m. I'll be doing a like kind of like a conversation interview. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so if you guys are fans of the 89 Batman, it's very interesting. I was not familiar with Carl Newman until Ryan started telling me about it, so I'll definitely be tuning in. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it on the panel because I will be at work, but I will be sneaking my phone on in the corner and watching it. So definitely go and check that out. I think it's a very unique stream, and I'm really excited to check it out, especially if you're a fan of 89 Batman. It's going to be really cool. And then, as always, we got Collecting Madness and Sean, the Hot Toys Nightmare, have dropped some great videos on their channel recently. So please go support them. We very much appreciate you all hanging out with us, guys. And once again, a big thank you to Ryan and Sean as we are about to close out the giveaway for graciously giving away prizes for the giveaway. So and 1/6 Kit as well. Kit, thank you so much. I know you don't often catch the streams, but we very much appreciate your contribution to the giveaway as well. And then a quick reminder, guys, before we close out here, use code HOTLINE on 1/6 Kit for $10 off of your first purchase. If you haven't made a purchase through 1/6 Kit yet, definitely check them out. Links in the description. And as always, off the racks, use code HTH. I've been buying so many figures and pre-ordering so many figures from John over at Off the Racks. Such a great place to buy from. Great options for payment plans and very, very affordable prices if you compare to Sideshow. Very, very affordable prices. So use code HTH. And as far as I know, that code has no limit. I've used it many times. So pre-order away if they have stuff that you guys want still in stock, because it's a great place to buy from. I've received a few figures from him, and the packaging was great. And overall, I am very happy with my experience over there at Off the Racks. But yeah, once again, everybody, thank you so much for being here. And Joe P. right at the end says, congratulations, marriage can work in your favor. My missus got me the 40th Empire for my birthday a few years back. And yes, I certainly agree with that. I'm not married myself, but my significant other gets me figures from time to time. So, and Chris, it's no exception for him. But once again, everybody, each and every one of you, thank you so much for being here. I very much appreciate the support on these Tuesday streams. The support is just getting bigger and bigger, so it means a lot to us that you guys are hanging out with us. Go watch the Flash trailer if you haven't already. It looks like a super fun time. If you guys are a fan of DC, go watch that trailer. And once again, subscribe to the wonderful panel here and go support them. We would very much appreciate it. But that's all we got for you guys. I hope you guys have a great night. And as always, we will see you Thursday for our weekly news stream at 7 p.m. EST. So take care, everyone, and we will see you next time.
Peace.